broadcast is presented by authority of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated is prohibited. The announcers on this broadcast are employed by the Cincinnati Reds Incorporated. Joe, a couple of wins in a row against the Chicago Cubs. Now a series against the Cardinals. It'll close out this homestand. And, of course, precedes what has to be considered the most important road trip coming up next Tuesday night for the Reds so far this season. And I don't know, maybe you would disagree, but I think it would be mighty important now to start building up some momentum before we move into Candlestick.
Well, Marty, it's always nice to build up momentum regardless of where you're going. And this so happens that we are going to Candlestick, and they seem to have just a little bit going out there, you know. But really, you know, you think of the Cardinals, and guys, we talk about them, and to this point, a very disappointing season for St. Louis, but you always have to respect the opposition, and certainly we'll worry about tonight's game, and then tomorrow night, and tomorrow afternoon, rather, and Sunday, and then when we get to Candlestick, we'll worry about that. But it'd be nice to go out there with, say, a 5-game winning streak. And Tom has pitched super baseball in his streak of 6 straight, a 162 earned run average in that streak. And he has really come on, as everyone knows. And his last time out, I guess you would call it a finesse game. And he's had a lot of rest, so he should be pumping pretty good tonight.
Well, he's set to go to deal to the leadoff batter, Lou Brock. The first pitch, an off-speed pitch. It's down low for a ball, and this game is underway. SEAVER'S 7-4 by way of record with a 352 earned run average. Here's a grounder wide of first, backhanded by Dreesen. Danny waves Seaver away. He'll beat Brock to the bag. 1 out. I'll bring up Gary Templeton, the shortstop, and in the wake of, as Joe pointed out, a very disappointing season for the Cardinals as a team. They are 17 under 500 at 23-40. It has been a very mysterious, mystifying, disappointing year personally for this young man right here. Templeton batting only .235 with 13 RBIs, but I guess the thing that is even more surprising than that is the fact that he's committed 20 errors at shortstop this season, and certainly not playing like the Gary Templeton that everybody saw around the National League last year. He grounds a first pitch foul. Brock has bounced to first. Templeton is at the plate. A strike count on the switch-hitting shortstop, and center fielder George Hendrick now moving to the St. Louis on-deck circle. Seaver rocks to the windup. He pitches, and Templeton swings and misses and quickly falls behind at 0-2. This is the 15th start of the season for Tom. He has 3 complete games, and his last 2 outings have resulted in complete game efforts. Low and outside a ball. He beat the Cardinals in going the distance 2 starts ago, 2-1, and then came up with a route-going performance to beat the Pittsburgh Pirates last weekend in Pittsburgh. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outfield playing Templeton to hit the other way. Seaver with a break-even pitch, and Gary shoots it down the left field line. Foster moving back and toward the foul line, and he'll not have a play. Ball back up into the seats. The Reds defensively tonight go with Dreesen at first base, Morgan at second, Concepcion at short, Rose at third, Foster in left field, Geronimo in center, and Griffey in right. Donnie Werner behind the plate. Holding 2-2 count on Gary Templeton. Seaver checking in with Werner for the sign. He kicks and he fires, and that's bounced toward short. Concepcion charges, has it. Quick running throw. Got him at first base. 2 down. Now, you don't fool around on anything hit on the ground when this young man is at the plate, because he can flat run. Davey charged the big hopper and threw on the run to get Templeton by a couple of steps at first base. Don't forget, Banner Day is coming up at Riverfront 3 weeks from tonight. Now's the time to start work on your banner so you can enter it in the Reds banner parade between games of the Reds-Giants doubleheader. If you need information, just call the Reds office. Hendrick, the 2-out batter, swings and fouls at the plate. George, of course, started out the season with the San Diego Padres just a couple of weeks ago, came over to the Cardinals for right-handed pitcher Eric Rasmussen. Hendrick hitting .223. 5 homers, 17 runs batted in. Seaver has retired Brock and Templeton on ground balls, and he throws a strike one pitch to Hendrick. He swings and misses at a pitch down and away, a breaking ball that was well out of the strike zone, and Hendrick had obviously made his mind up. He was going after the pitch and is down 2 strikes. Reds are 12 over 500 as they begin this series. They've won 37 and lost 25. The pitch, low and outside a ball. Trailing the Giants by 2.5 games. The Reds, of course, with the exhibition game at Indianapolis last night, which they beat their AAA Farm Club 8-5. The Giants played and won, so add a half game onto that Giant lead. Here's a ground ball to second. Morgan makes a pickup, throws him out, and Seaver enjoys a 1-2-3 first inning. Cardinals are out in order, and after a half inning of play, St. Louis nothing, and the Reds are coming to bat. Well, tonight's game starts off a big weekend series for the Reds and the Cardinals here at Riverfront. There's a 2:15 ball game tomorrow afternoon, and then on Sunday, the homestand winds up on Ken Griffey Poster Day. Every guy and gal 21 and under will get a free 2-foot by 3-foot full-color action poster of the Red Star right fielder. It's a terrific souvenir for collectors. Be on hand. Plenty of seats are available for tomorrow and Sunday, and for your convenience, the Red Stadium ticket office opens at 9 a.m. both days. John Denny, one of the 2 big horses in this Cardinal pitching rotation, the other, of course, being Bob Forsch. Denny owns a 6-4 record with a 267 earned run average with 4 complete games, or 7 complete games in 14 starts, and one of those route-going performances came against Cincinnati 10 days ago at Busch Stadium in St. Louis when he allowed the Reds 5 hits and 1 run, the Cardinals posting a 4-1 victory. Now, John Denny, not an easy customer to contend with most of the time. And in 4 lifetime decisions against the Reds, he owns 3 wins. Pete Rose will start it off. Pete batting .270, has homered 4 times, has 19 RBIs. A pitch to him just inside a fastball. Kenny Reed's playing wide of the bag at third and a bit in for Rose, who takes a breaking pitch low, and Denny falls behind to Pete. 2 balls and no strikes. Ken Griffey and Joe Morgan to follow, and hopefully more here in the first. Pitch on the way. Pete swings, bounces first base side. That's going to be a fair ball. Took an extremely high hop, but played by Hernandez, and he gets a put out. 1 down. As Griffey comes to the plate, we'll check out the Cardinals defensively for you. It's Hernandez at first with Phillips at second, Templeton at short, Reitz at third, Brock in left, Hendrick in center, Morales in right, and Simmons behind the plate. 1 gone, no score. We're in the bottom of the first. Griffey takes it low and inside. Kenny continues to lead the National League in batting with a .328 mark, and also in total base hits with 83. Denny's 1-0 to him. That's below the knees, and Denny falling behind to Griffey 2-0, exactly as he did to Pete Rose before Rose hit that 2-0 pitch on a ground out to first base. Denny kicks and fires. Griffey takes a slow curve that's in for a strike. Terry Tata, our plate umpire. At first, Paul Pryor. At second, Ed Vargo. And at third base, Charlie Williams. Denny ready with a 2-1 pitch. Griffey swings, bounces it hard on 1 hop back to the mound, and the pitcher throws him out. Kenny with a hard 1-hopper right back to Denny. So with 2 out and nothing going on for Cincinnati, here's Joe Morgan. Looks like this guy has finally started to battle back after a very slow start. Saw his batting average dip into the 230s. Morgan has jumped it up to 258 and is hit safely in 6 consecutive games. He takes a high breaking ball. He went to bat 1 time at Indianapolis last night and hammered a long 2-run home run in the first inning to right center. Check swing, ball 2. Breaking ball in the dirt. Simmons runs out in front of the plate to pick it up and deliver it on back to the mound. Denny trying to do what Seaver did in the top of the inning, and that's retire the side 1-2-3. Morgan bounces foul. That will carry on over toward the Cincinnati dugout. So to the Reds' second baseman, 2 balls and 1 strike. Reds have been getting some excellent pitching despite losing last Monday night's game to the Chicago Cubs. The pitching was good throughout the series. There's ball 3. Of course, winning Tuesday night's game 1-0 and coming back behind the pitching of Sarmiento, Tomlin, and Bear to defeat the Cubs 3-1 in the afternoon wrap-up on Wednesday. There's ball 4. Denny misses with 2 high and away fastballs to issue a 2-out walk to Morgan and keep the inning going for George Foster. Foster batting .313 with 14 home runs and 48 RBIs. That latter figure good enough to continue to lead the National League, and also is a leader in runs scored with a total of 43. So Morgan draws a 2-out walk. And Mr. Denny will go to work on Mr. Foster. The stretch and the pitch. Foster bounces to third, played on the hop by Reitz. He'll go to first with his throw, and that's the inning. For the Reds, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on at the end of 1 complete in this series opener with the Cardinals. Cincinnati nothing and St. Louis nothing. At the end of 1 inning of play at Riverfront Stadium, no score, and the Cardinals will be coming with the middle third of their batting order against Tom Seaver, led by Ted Simmons, then Keith Hernandez and Jerry Morales. Now Baltimore and Oakland getting ready to play a single game in Baltimore tonight. Rick Langford against Dennis Martinez. Interesting sidelight to that game. The Orioles playing the game under protest for possible violations regarding the 25-man limit of Oakland. Well, the first pitch misses low and away to Simmons. Ted batting .316. He's having a fine year with his Cardinal club, as he normally does. He swings and grounds one slowly to shortstop. Davey has it on the bounce, throwing first base. 1 down. So the first 4 Cardinal batters have been retired on ground balls to the infield. 1 to first, 2 to shortstop, and 1 to second. Here's a left-handed batting first baseman, Keith Hernandez. Hernandez hitting .274, has driven in 30 runs, has hit 5 homers. Against Cincinnati pitching in the 2-game set in St. Louis. Had a base hit and 5 trips. Pitch is in the dirt for a ball. Hernandez takes a strike on the outside edge, and it's even to him at 1-1. Seaver delivers, and it's low for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike on Hernandez. And both the Giants and the Dodgers going extremely well right now. LA has chalked up 6 wins in a row. The Giants have recorded 6 victories in a row also. There's a call strike, and it's 2-2 now. Cincinnati, having won a modest 2 straight, would like to get involved in a long winning streak. Now would be an excellent time to start it off. There's ball 3, low and outside, so Seaver a full count on Hernandez. We pointed out the Reds 2.5 behind the Giants and 2.5 games in front of third place Los Angeles. Dodgers are 5 back of San Francisco. Ball 4 inside and low, and Hernandez becomes the first Cardinal base runner as he works Seaver for a 1-out second inning walk. That'll bring up right fielder Jerry Morales. Morales hitting .238, and thus far he has been a big disappointment for the Cardinals. He's hit 3 home runs and has driven in 28 runs, and simply been a matter of everything that possibly could go wrong has gone wrong for St. Louis. Seaver delivers Morales a taken strike, a fastball. I'm talking to Coach Jack Kroll earlier tonight, who was an interim manager with his club for a few games until Kenny Boyer took over after Vern Rapp was fired. And he said as soon as it looks like they've got things turned around for the better, all of a sudden something else crops up and they've got the same problem again. Werner calling for a pitch out, but Hernandez not doing anything at first base. But a long, long way to go. The Cardinals have played 63 ball games, so 99 more to go, and you've seen strange things happen in a much shorter span of time than that, I'm sure. Seaver throws to first, and Hernandez is back. 1 out, 1 on here in the second. No score. The Reds and the Cardinals. Cincinnati infield a double play depth as Tom again drives Hernandez with a throw to first base. Now the long pause at the belt. The runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. Werner's throw down to second, and it goes through Morgan and on into center field. Here comes Hernandez on to third base. Donnie Werner bouncing one in front of second. And Morgan not able to handle it on the bounce as they credit Hernandez with a stolen base and charge a throwing error to Don Werner. So the Cardinals put a runner over at third base on a steal and an error. Hernandez with his 4th stolen base of the season, and that will bring the Cincinnati infield in, especially the right side of Dreesen and Morgan trying to cut off Hernandez at the plate should he try and score on anything hit on the ground by Morales. Seaver glances to third as he works from the full windup. He sends in the 1-2 pitch. Morales strikes out swinging. Well, Tom coming with a high hardwood to make Jerry Morales his first strikeout victim, and that'll bring out third baseman Kenny Reitz. Now we'd like to send along our congratulations and best wishes to all the high school baseball players in the greater Cincinnati area who will be competing tomorrow morning in the annual East-West All-Star Baseball game. The game takes place at 10 o'clock out at St. Xavier High School. Ball is inside. Davey Concepcion playing a very deep shortstop for Ken Reitz. He swings and misses at a pitch out away from him. Reitz hitting .257. Has Hernandez at third base with 2 away. Check swing foul ball. That'll go to the Cincinnati dugout. So Seaver, trying to leave Hernandez stranded at third, came up with a big strikeout of Jerry Morales. And owns a count advantage here against Reitz at ball 1 and strike 2. Okay, the right-hander ready to go to work again. He winds and he pitches, and Reitz takes it just high and outside. 2-2. Seaver has been, in a word, magnificent in this 6-game winning streak of his. At one time, a 1-4 record that has been turned into a 7-4 mark. As Joe mentioned earlier, during the winning streak, Tom has posted a 162 earned run average, giving up 9 earned runs in 49 2/3 innings of pitching, and that's not bad. Reitz swings at a high fastball and fouls it back. Seaver's victories have come against Montreal. He's twice beaten San Diego, Atlanta, the Cardinals, and Houston, or Pittsburgh. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Scoreless here in the second, with the Cardinals having Keith Hernandez down at third base. Seaver wheels and deals and misses with a high breaking ball. Well, if he loses Reitz, he'll be working to second baseman Mike Phillips. 3 balls and 2 strikes as a right-handed batter levels the bat and waits. A pitch on the way. Struck him out, or did he? No, could not hang on to the foul tip. Donnie Werner, as the ball just got off of his glove. So Reitz stays alive on a holding 3-2 count. Outfield playing Reitz pretty much straight away. Seaver back to the plate, and Reitz takes it outside. So Tom has issued his second walk of the inning. And the number 8 batter in the Cardinal lineup, second baseman Mike Phillips, will step in. Phillips doing a good job in the time that he has been able to get into that Cardinal lineup, hitting .276 with 5 RBIs. Of course, Mike Tyson at the beginning of the season was the Cardinal second baseman, but Phillips right now hitting almost 30 points higher than Tyson, and so Mike is the one getting the play-in time. As Seaver came to the plate, Phillips threw up his hands and called time, so that pitch will not count. Cardinals have him on the corners. Hernandez at third, Reitz at first. 2 away in the inning. Seaver stretches, delivers. Phillips takes it inside. Ball 1. Cardinals threatening in the second inning. Seaver works to Phillips, who 1-0 to the plate. Just gets the outside corner for a call strike. That game that Seaver beat the Cardinals in back on the 5th of June, 2-1. Mike Phillips reached Tom for a couple of base hits in that game. Phillips swings and fouls this one off just to the right of the plate. Tom here in the first couple of innings, for the most part, staying out in front of the hitters, although he has issued the walks in the inning to Hernandez and Reitz. He's in front now of Phillips at ball 1 and strike 2, and John Denny is the on-deck batter for St. Louis. Phillips, left-handed batter. Tom taking his time. He checks the runners on the corners and comes to the plate. Phillips hits a broken back ground ball to second. Morgan will throw to first base to get the inning-ending out. No runs, no hits, 1 error with 2 left. In the middle of inning number 2, it's the Reds nothing and the Cardinals nothing. Danny Dreesen heading toward the plate, and he'll be the man who will kick off the second inning for Cincinnati. Dreesen batting .302 with 8 homers and 36 RBIs. He'll be followed here in the second by Davey Concepcion and Cesar Geronimo. John Denny allowing a 2-out base runner. Morgan a walk in the first inning, but got Foster to ground out to third. He delivers to Dreesen. Fastball in, strike call. Denny delivers. Dreesen takes it inside, 1-1. 1977, a rough year for John Denny in terms of pulled hamstring muscles. He suffered 2, swing and a foul by Dreesen. Suffered 1 here, and then suffered a worse hamstring pull out in Los Angeles, something that, well, it took forever and ever to finally overcome the one he suffered in L.A. because it was much worse than the one he had here in Cincinnati. So far this season has been injury-free. We talked to him in St. Louis, and he said everything was in fine shape as far as that's concerned. He curves Dreesen, but it stays high, and it is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch. Denny takes another breaking ball, and that's all that Denny, for the most part, has been throwing him, is curves and a full count. Denny, like Seaver, will not walk too many people. Here's a grounder hit to the right side, and Mike Phillips is there to play the ball and throw Dreesen out. 1 away. Davey Concepcion will now step to the plate. Davey batting .308 with 2 home runs and 28 RBIs, and Concepcion ranking 4th in the National League in 2 base hits. He's had 17 this season. Ted Simmons of the Cardinals leads the league with a total of 22 doubles. Davey bluffs a bunt on a low curve. Ball 1. Jack Clark of the Giants with 18. Pete Rose also up there among the league leaders in that department. A curve ball is high and inside as Davey leans out away from the pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Denny working quickly. David swings at a fastball away and does not get it. 2-1. And look at Denny's statistics, and not hard to understand why his earned run average stands as low as it does at 267. He's given up at 83 hits in 104 1/3 innings of pitching. Swing and a foul. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not a strikeout pitcher by any means. He's fanned 46 this season. But in terms of walks, he's issued but 26. Seaver has issued but 31 coming into this start in 91 2/3 innings. Grounded off the end of the bat slowly towards second. Here's Phillips, quick throwing to first base, and got him by a half step. Well, both outs here in the second have been on ground balls to Mike Phillips at second base. That ground out makes Cesar Geronimo the 2-out batter. Geronimo batting .245. 3 homers and 17 RBI. Cesar did not go to the plate in the 2-game series in St. Louis. Pitches high for a ball. Did get in once as a late inning defensive replacement, but marking his first trip to the plate this season now against Cardinal pitching. Ball 2, 2-0. Tomorrow afternoon in the 2:15 start, it'll be Bill Bottom against Pete Vukovich. 3 balls and no strikes. And when we close out the series on Sunday afternoon, it'll also be the wrap-up to the homestand. Freddie Norman will go against Silvio Martinez. So all 3 of the Cincinnati pitchers in this series trying to make it 8 wins on the year. Geronimo draws a 2-out walk. Seaver 7-4. Bottom will go in with a record of 7-1. And Freddie Norman, Sunday afternoon, will carry a record to the mound of 7 wins and 3 losses. Denny, like Seaver, is now walked 2. And he faces catcher Don Werner, batting .163 with 9 runs knocked in. Donnie has done an Iron Man's job behind the plate. As Denny throws to first, he has caught every inning of the Reds' last 17 ball games. Geronimo getting a pretty good lead at first, so much so that Denny throws that way again. Treason, Concepcion ground outs, but Geronimo draws a walk. Another throw to first, so Werner is still waiting to look over John Denny's first pitch. The Cardinal right-hander is thrown over to Keith Hernandez 3 straight times. Here's a stretch, the pause, and another quick throw to first, and he threw it away. Here comes Geronimo on to second. John Denny going to the well one time too often. Geronimo ending up at second base, and that'll be a throwing error against Denny. Oh, we've had 2 errors already in the game, and both have been of the throwing variety. Donnie Werner charged with a throwing error in the top of the inning. He takes a pitch low for ball 1. So the Reds have Geronimo at second with 2 down. Werner takes it off the plate and high, ball 2. Tom Seaver on deck. Cardinals could not take advantage of the throwing error in the top of the inning. Seaver was able to wiggle out of a first and third jam. Here's a ball fouled off the end of the bat. Hernandez went to third base with 1 down, but Seaver struck out Morales, and after walking Reitz, he got Phillips to bounce out to second base. Now Geronimo taking a good lead out at second as Denny sends a pitch in, and Werner takes a curve high and inside. 3-1 on the Cincinnati catcher. Denny stretches and pitches. Curve is in at the knees. Strike 2 call. Some of the fans here not particularly in agreement with Terry Tata's call, but a full count nevertheless. Here's a payoff pitch, and that's bounced to third. Here's Reitz with a ball. He'll go to first, and that's the inning. So the numbers for Cincinnati in the second: no runs, no hits, an error with a man left on base, and at the end of 2 complete, the Reds nothing and the Cardinals nothing. Here in the third inning for the St. Louis Cardinals, pitcher John Denny will lead it off against Tom Seaver, and here to call the play-by-play for you, Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty. Denny with a 117 batting average. John, or 177 batting average. He's had 6 hits in 34 times up this year. Tom has struck out 1, walked 2. Delivers to Denny, and the bunt attempt is missed. Strike 1. Cardinals and the Reds splitting the 2-game series at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. 0-1 delivery. Swung on and missed, and quickly Seaver in front, 0-2. Denny winning the Cardinals game over there, and of course Seaver winning the Reds game. 0-2 the count. Seaver winds, and the pitch. Missing outside with a slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lou Brock on deck, and then it'll be Gary Templeton. Seaver back to the plate. Denny swings. Did he go far enough? And Terry Tata says so, the plate umpire. So that's strikeout number 2 for Tom Seaver. 1 away, and Lou Brock the batter. Brock bounced to Danny Dreesen wide to first base in the first inning, leading off the game. And you talk about reasons for the Cardinals' problems. I guess you might throw Lou Brock in. But Lou Brock has scored just 17 runs this year, hitting .217. Seaver delivers, and Brock swings and fouls. Warner hangs the sign, and the 0-1 delivery. That's under the knees of ball. 1-1. Seaver shakes off the sign from Warner, and the 1-1 on the way. Outside as Tom takes something off the fastball. 2-1. Well, the Reds have signed 3 more of their draft picks. 2-1 delivery. Swung on, bounced to Morgan. Joe has it, on to Dreesen. 2 away. 2 down. Gary Templeton the batter. The 3 the Reds signed. Latest to sign, number 13 pick Byron Jackson, an 18-year-old right-handed pitcher from Wichita Falls, Texas. Number 20 draft pick James Taylor, an 18-year-old catcher from Charlotte, North Carolina. Pitch to Templeton, and that's swung on and missed. And the third one, he was a number 29 draft picks, Alex Neely, 20-year-old right-handed pitcher from Enid, Oklahoma. The 0-1 pitch. Templeton swings and fouls, and quickly Seaver in front 0-2. Tom has struck out 2, walked 2, both walks coming in the second inning to Hernandez and Reitz. 0-2 pitch. Templeton swings on it and fouls. Cardinals have won 23 and lost 40. They're playing their 64th game. The Reds playing number 63. Cardinals last year beat the Reds on the season series 7-5. Again, the 0-2 pitch. That swung on and hit to left field. Foster going back, and a step onto the warning track makes the play. Other Cardinals out in order here in the third inning. Nothing across, and at the middle of inning number 3, Cardinals nothing, Reds nothing. For the Reds in the bottom half of the third, it'll be Tom Seaver to lead it off, then Pete Rose and Ken Griffey. Tom with a .179 batting average. He has 5 hits and 28 times up, has driven in 2 runs, and Seaver owns 1 double. Denny has not struck out anyone, has walked 2. Walked Morgan with 2 out in the first inning, walked Geronimo with 2 out in the second. John Denny 6-4 on the year, ready to work to Tom Seaver. A wind in the pitch. Seaver takes it low and outside the ball. Then in the game against the Reds in St. Louis on June the 6th, there's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Allowed the Reds just 5 hits. And no one in the game had 2 for the Reds. Ball 2, low and outside. Joe Morgan had 1. Danny Dreesen had 1 to drive in the 1 Cincinnati run. 2-1 deliveries. Curve for a called strike. Count evens 2-2. And Dave Collins had 1 as a pinch hitter. All right, the 2-2. Curve swung on and missed, and Denny has his first strikeout. 1 away, Pete Rose the batter. Rose bounced to Hernandez at first base, leading off the game for the Reds. Pete's batting average .270 with 4 home runs, 19 RBIs, 17 doubles, and 3 triples. Benny working quickly, delivers, and Rose takes it low and inside a ball. One-0 pitch. Swung on. That's bounced to Phillips. Charging at second. Goes on to Hernandez. 2 away. 2 down. Ken Griffey steps in. Kenny bounced hard back to the mound in the first inning. Denny reaching off to his right to pick it off and throw Griff out. 2 outs. Bases empty. Benny delivers. Griffey takes a fastball through the heart of the plate, a strike. Talking about last year when the Cardinals beat the Reds on the season series 7-5. 0-1 pitch inside as Griffey skips back. 1-1. That was the first time since 1968 that the Cardinals had won a season series from the Reds. 1-1 delivery. Swung on, bounced over the mound near second base. Templeton has it. Quick throwing to Hernandez, got him. Well, the Reds out in order, and we have yet to hit a ball out of the infield in the first 3 innings against John Denny. Nothing across, and after 3, Reds nothing, Cardinals nothing. Seaver ready to go to work to George Hendrick. He winds and delivers the first pitch. Hendrick swings and misses. A pitch down and in. Tom turning the ball over quite a bit again tonight. And still seems to have better velocity than he did in Pittsburgh. The pitch. Slider outside, and the count evens 1-1. One pitch. Hendricks takes. Breaking ball low and outside. 2 balls to strike. Two-one delivery. Hendricks check swing foul, and that into the seats just to the right of the screen. Really everyone all right down there. Well, the count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes to George Hendrick. Outfield shading him around to the right. 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Got him with a good high fastball. 3rd strikeout for Tom. 1 away, and Ted Simmons the batter. Well, you go back to that game in St. Louis that Tom beat the Cardinals in, and he just absolutely blew 5 people away in the last 2 innings, striking out the side in the 9th. And one of them, Ted Simmons. He's at the plate now. Switch hitter. The pitch. Strike call. Simmons a .316 batting average, 6 home runs, 26 RBIs. Ted has had 22 doubles. 0-1 pitch. Curveball, and that's outside. 1-1. Cardinals tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon. The Reds off Monday. Take off Monday afternoon for San Francisco to open a 10-game road trip. 3 with the Giants, 3 with the Dodgers, 4 in Houston. 1-1. Delivery is just low, and I think Tom wanted that one. Count goes 2 balls, 1 strike. Keith Hernandez, the on-deck batter. Seaver's 2-1 delivery. Swung on, a very high pop. That'll come back and out of play. Dropping just in front of us. Not even 2-2 to Ted Simmons. Ted away from the plate. Now steps back in. And Seaver winds, and the 2-2. Breaking ball swung on and hit to center field. Geronimo there waiting on it, and Cesar has it for out number 2. And that'll bring Keith Hernandez to the plate. Hernandez walked in the 2nd inning with 1 out. Stole second and moved to third on the throwing arrow by Don Warner. The ball going on into center field, but was left there as Morales struck out. Reach walked, and Phillips bounced to Morgan. Heath a .274 batting average. Seaver delivers high with a fastball. Read Tom's lips every time he makes a bad pitch. He kind of talks to himself. 1-0 pitch outside and off the mid of Don Werner. 2-0. Tom says, come on, Tom. Now the 2-0. Hernandez swings, ground ball. Morgan has it off to his left. Throwing to Drees and got him. Joe, a good play. A step on the outfield turf to pick it off one-handed, moving to his left, and throws Hernandez out easily, and that's the inning. Well, we got a real pitcher's battle going here at Riverfront tonight through the first 3.5 innings. There's not been a base hit, and John Denny will be facing in the 4th inning Joe Morgan, George Foster, and Danny Dreesen. Morgan walked in the first inning with 2 out. Joe, a 6-game hitting streak. That streak, Joe has had 10 hits in 23 times to the plate. Good for a .435 earned batting average, and his batting average up to .258 now. John Denny ready to go to work. He has struck out 1, walked 2. The pitch. Morgan takes an off-speed pitch up high, a ball. Well, the play that Morgan made on Hernandez, the only ball that looked like a base hit to this point. Morgan takes ball 2 high and outside. Denny did make a good play on Ken Griffey in the first inning on a hard 1 bouncer back to the mound. 2-0 delivery. Morgan takes ball 3 low and inside. So good Joe on here leading off the inning. Denny with a good move, though. Tough to steal on him. See if Morgan has the green light. He does, but takes it high, ball 4. So Joe walks for the 2nd time in the game, and that brings George Foster to the plate. Foster ended the first inning by grounding to Reach at third base. Morgan with 13 stolen bases in 17 attempts this year. Waiting on Foster to settle into the batter's box. Still a good lead. Denny looking to Simmons, has the sign, the stretch. Goes over to first, and Morgan back standing. And he's the stretch. Again a throw over there, and again Morgan is back standing. Well, let's see if Joe gets a little bigger lead this time. He has his normal lead. 1 foot in the sliding pit, 1 on the turf. There he goes. The pitch taken. Simmons' throw is not near in time, and a good save by Gary Templeton. Backing up the play that went to Phillips, and Gary Templeton made a diving stab to save it from going into center field. So Morgan gets his 14th stolen base of the year, and only some good hustle by Gary Templeton keeps him from moving on to third base. The pitch to Foster was low and outside, and the count of ball, no strikes to George. Denny the stretch. And the pitch. Foster takes it high and inside, and the count goes 2-0. Remember Denny on the start of the game from St. Louis talking about hitting Foster. He hit Foster in the head, and he says, I'm sorry for it, but George really leans out over the plate, and well, you have to fess him up once in a while, but certainly don't like to do that. But you must let him know you're on the mound. The count. Denny the stretch and the pitch. Curveball for a called strike. 2-1. Pitch on the way. That's just off the plate outside. 3-1 to Foster. In the last 4 or 5 ball games, we have watched some excellent pitching both sides here at Riverfront. Actually, it started Sunday in Pittsburgh when the Reds lost to the Pirates 3-1, but good pitching. There's ball 4 outside. So the first 2 have reached here in the 4th inning. Danny Dreesen making his way to the plate, and we'll pause for station identification. This is the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
WLW, Cincinnati. Attention new car buyers, are you looking for economy and mileage? Then test drive Europe's most successful new car in history, the all-new Fiesta, at your Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Ford dealers today.
All right, Danny Dreesen at the plate. Morgan second, Foster first. The pitch. Dreesen takes it low and inside a ball. Danny grounded to Phillips at second base, leading off the 2nd inning. Denny checking with Ted Simmons, his catcher. Sets, delivers. Dreesen swings and misses a curveball, and he was right on that one. Not even 1-1 to Dreesen. Denny sets the pitch. Taken on the inside corner, called strike, and that brings the count to a ball, 2 strikes to Dreesen. Dave Concepcion on deck. Talking about the pitching in this homestand, the Monday night game with the Cubs, a 3-2 victory for Chicago. Russell and Bonham in that one. Here's the 1-2, low and inside. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And of course, Tuesday night, Freddie Norman and Doug Bear combined to shut out the Cubs 1-0. 2-2 delivery, swung on, bounced back to the mound. To Templeton and on to Hernandez. Double play as Morgan moves to third base. So the double play goes 1-6 to 3. Morgan moving to third. 2 away, and Dave Concepcion the batter. That's the 43rd double play the Reds have hit into this year. Davey in the 2nd inning grounded to Mike Phillips at second base. Then he delivers. Concepcion takes it high and inside a ball. Morgan down the line at third. Then he looks over there, winds, and the pitch. Swung on and fouled, and the count evens 1-1. A ball, a strike, the count to Concepcion. Dave with his 1,000th career base hit Wednesday afternoon. Takes from Denny low, and it's 2-1. Denny back to the plate. Curve is swung on and bounced back to the mound. Denny has it on to Hernandez, and that's the inning. So after the first 2 reach, we cannot get them anywhere. Morgan got to third, but that's it. For the Reds, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base, and at the end of 4. Cardinals nothing, Reds nothing. Well, the 4-inning totals are identical. The Cardinals, no runs, no hits, 1 error. The Reds, no runs, no hits, and 1 error. For St. Louis, Jerry Morales will lead it off in the 5th, and back with the activities, Mr. Brenneman.
Okay, Joe. Jerry Morales up in the 2nd inning, struck out swinging, one of 3 strikeouts that Tom Seaver has had so far tonight. Only thing the Cardinals have had remotely resembling a base hit was that ball that Hernandez hit in the 4th inning that Morgan made such a super play on to keep from going into right field, and of course threw him out. So we've got a dandy going tonight through 4 innings. Here's Jerry Morales now to begin the 5th for St. Louis, and here's Seaver with the first pitch, and that's taken for Pitch on the way. Morales, a slow bouncer, third base side of the mound. Rose cuts it off and throwing high, but Dreesen is able to go up and get it and come back down on the bag to get Morales at first base. One down. We'll bring up Kenny Reitz. He was a base runner back in the second on a base on balls. Well, the trade deadline came and went at midnight last night. A number of deals made, but I don't think any that you could describe as major deals. Here's a pitch to Reitz. Pitches outside a ball. The San Francisco Giants, the most active of any of the major league clubs, they acquired Houston shortstop Roger Metzger for either player to be named later or cash. Swung on, fly ball. Hit into right center field. Ken Griffey and Geronimo both there, and Geronimo will make the play. 2 out. The Giants also picked up Jim Dwyer from this Cardinal team as part of a deal last fall that sent pitcher Frank Riccelli to St. Louis. And the Giants acquired the contract of outfielder Hector Cruz from the Chicago Cubs for Lynn McLaughlin. Just talking with St. Louis sports writer Jack Herman a while ago and found out about a trade that I think may well have escaped a lot of people. I know it did us. Here's a pitch low for ball one. Ray Barris going from the Chicago Cubs to the Pittsburgh Pirates for left-hander Jerry Royce. Had no idea at all about that one. Here's a 1-0. Swung on and fouled by Phillips. In other deals, the New York Yankees got Gary Thomason from the Oakland A's for outfielder Del Alston and infielder Mickey Klutz. The Indians purchased Bernie Carbo from the Boston Red Sox for cash. 1-1 pitch. Swung on. Ground ball hit to first. Dreesen has it. He'll take it to the bag for the putout, and that's all for the Cardinals in the 5th inning. 3 up and 3 down after 4.5. The Reds nothing and the Cardinals nothing. Well, through 4.5 innings of play, there has not been a run. There has not been a base hit. Tom Seaver has pitched 5 hitless innings. John Denny has pitched 4. It'll be Geronimo who drew the 2nd inning walk to lead off for the Reds, and as the Chief settles into the batter's box, apparently getting something in his right eye because he quickly steps away from the plate. Kenny Reitz will play close at third for Geronimo as a pitch comes, and it's a curveball at the knees for a strike. We were ticking off those trades that were consummated before the midnight trade deadline last night. I mentioned the fact that the Indians purchased Bernie Carbo from the Boston Red Sox. Swung on, line drive, base hit center field. So Cesar Geronimo becomes the first man to reach on a base hit tonight as he lines a pitch up the middle, and that'll bring up Don Werner. The Indians traded Mike Vail to the Chicago Cubs for outfielder Joe Wallace. Then they turned around and traded Wallace to the Oakland A's for catcher designated hitter Gary Alexander. Geronimo goes, Werner fouls it off. And in another National League trade, the Philadelphia Phillies traded relief pitcher Gene Garber to the Atlanta Braves for right-handed pitcher Dick Ruthven. Nothing of a major nature. Here's a check swing by Don on a curveball. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Reds have Geronimo on, leading off the 5th inning with a base hit in this 0-0 game. Werner checking with third base coach Alex Grammas as he stands back in to await the pitching of John Denny. Here it comes. Swung on, base hit left field. Well, Denny got a curveball up, and Donnie lined a single to left. So the first 2 men on are on here in the 5th inning with back-to-back singles from Geronimo and Werner, and you probably can expect what Tom Seaver is going to be up there doing. Seaver struck out in the 3rd. Keith Hernandez went into the mound to talk with Denny, now moves on back to first. He's playing shallow, as is Ken Reitz at third base. Well, we need that all-important bunt from Tom now to get them both into scoring position, and the pitch is bunted foul as Hernandez and Reitz really come like gangbusters. Scoreboard stopper tonight, the Cardinals won the pennant in 1964, 1967, and 1968. Who managed those St. Louis teams? Two on, nobody out. Reds threatening in the 5th inning. Denny into his stretch. Seaver turns into bunt, takes it low and away, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Pete Rose, as you know, in the on-deck circle. Seaver looking down to Grammas at third, steps back in, and Hernandez really playing close in at first base. Here's a stretch in the pitch. Seaver takes it, and it's a strike. 1-2 the count. Of course, a trade that came about very early before the trade deadline. Raleigh Eastwood going to the Philadelphia Phillies from the New York Yankees for J. John Stone and minor league outfielder Bobby Brown. Seaver behind on the count, and he bunts foul, and that's a strikeout. So Denny picks up a big one as Seaver is not able to move the runners along, and with 1 down, Pete Rose will step to the plate as Denny now comes into the plate to talk with the plate umpire Terry Tata, and now is running over and into the St. Louis Cardinals dugout. So apparently we're going to have a holdup in the action here as Denny is heading down to the Cardinal dressing room for some reason or other, and we've got a break in the action here in the 5th inning, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. Well, we're back here at Riverfront Stadium, still waiting the return of John Denny from the St. Louis Cardinal clubhouse. Apparently something went amiss in terms of his uniform that caused him to go to the plate umpire Terry Tata and request permission to go onto the clubhouse and correct whatever the problem was. And when we resume play, we'll have Geronimo at second, Donnie Werner still at first base, and now 1 out after Seaver trying to bunt ended up striking out. Updating some scores in the American League. Toronto and Texas playing at Twin Bill in Arlington, Texas tonight, and at the end of 8 in game 1, the Rangers hold a 3-2 lead. Rico Cartes hit a 2-run homer to account for the only Toronto runs. Cleveland over Milwaukee 4-1 at the end of 4.5 innings of play. Heisel a home run for Milwaukee. Grubb a 3-run shot for the Indians. Baltimore on an Eddie Murray 4th inning home run, 1-0 over Oakland. California with 2 in the 1st inning on a 2-0 lead at the end of 2 innings against the Yankees. Boston shutting out Seattle at the end of 3-0. Red Sox are trying to chalk up their 8th consecutive victory and send Seattle down to their 9th straight loss. Other games not yet underway. Kansas City at Chicago. It'll be Larry Gura against Francisco Barrios. Detroit at Minnesota. And, of course, Toronto and Texas will be playing the 2nd game. In the National League, Pittsburgh 6, Atlanta 0 at the end of 2.5. Chicago scoreless in the top of the 1st at Houston. Meanwhile, we're still waiting for John Denny to come back to the pitching mound.
Marty, he'll be back. It takes a little while to make that particular equipment change.
Well, we'll just...
You don't do that like putting a new shoelace in. You understand?
I understand very well, and Mr. Denny is now coming up the stairwell.
Okay. It wasn't all that long.
No.
I just hope he carried a couple base hits out of there for us.
Well, we hope so. I don't think John's a very popular person right now. The crowd greeting him with a chorus of boos as he goes back to the mound. So, let's see what Pete can do now with 2 on and 1 out. The Reds got their first 2 on in the 4th inning on walks to Morgan and Foster and couldn't score when Dreesen hit into a double play and Concepcion bounced back to the mound. Rose 0 for 2 is bounced to first, is grounded out to second base. Here's Denny with a pitch, and Rose takes it for a strike at the letters on the outside corner. Denny to the belt. There go the runners. Pitch swung on. Line drive. Base hit. Left center field. 1 run is going to score. They're going to wave the runner Werner around third. He's coming to the plate. Templeton's throw. Not in time. A 2-run double by Pete. The ball gets through Simmons and Rose goes to third. Well, the ball hit Donnie Werner as Gary Templeton's throw came to the plate. They've charged an error against Ted Simmons.
Marty, the ball actually hit Don Warner as he crossed the plate, and I don't know. Of course, we're not the official scorers, but usually when something like that happens, the player that throws the ball is charged. But the ball did hit Don Warner as he really was a step across home plate, and Ted Simmons had no chance at all to field the ball. He was behind Warner. Warner crossing in front of him, and the throw striking done.
So Pete getting a 2-run double and going to third on an error charge to Simmons. Here's Griffey as the Cardinal infield comes in. It's ball 1. So the Reds lighting this crowd up at Riverfront as the runners were both going, Geronimo and Warner, and Pete lined a double into the gap in left center with both scoring. High with a pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Kenny is grounded to the mound hard and was thrown out by Templeton at shortstop in the 3rd inning. Hernandez, Phillips, Templeton, and Reitz all playing in. Rose is at third base. 2 runs have been scored as the Reds have reached Denny for 3 hits in the 5th. The pitch to Griffey, swung on and looped down the left field line. That's going to be a foul ball and into the seats. So Pete coming up with a big 2-run double. And now Griffey trying to get Rose in from third as he stands out of the batter's box. Denny waiting out on the mound for the hitter to get back in there. 2-1 to count. Denny staring in for the sign from Simmons. He picks it up and he pitches. Griffey fouls it to the screen.
Marty, something kind of interesting. I know Pete was talking about RBIs Wednesday in the clubhouse, and that's his first RBI since May the 27th in San Diego.
Wow. A long time between drinks of water for Rose. They gives him a total of 21 runs batted in. Griffey takes strike 3. Fastball in on him.
That can't be right. We're going to look at that one more time.
That's the 3rd strikeout for Denny, and 2 of them have come here in the inning. It brings up Joe Morgan, who's walked twice. The Reds Radio Network brings Reds baseball to fans in 7 states, and you can hear the games in Ironton, Ohio on WIRO, in Kokomo, Indiana on WIOU, in Jamestown, Kentucky on WJRS, and in Bluefield, West Virginia on WHIS. 2 runs in, 2 men out. The Cardinal infield now falls back as Denny comes to Morgan. Joe swings and pulls it foul into the Cincinnati dugout.
We'll retract that statement and say he had 2 RBIs on the 31st of May against the Braves in Atlanta.
Still 16 days.
Sounds a little better.
A little bit.
2 days better.
Morgan takes a curve in the dirt as Simmons goes to both knees to block it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Denny throwing that baseball in, and apparently on the request of Morgan, Terry Tato looks it over and throws it on back to the mound. And Denny has worked carefully to Joe tonight, so much so that he's walked him twice. Here's a pitch. That's low, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Denny glancing to third where Rose has his lead, pitches a curve low, ball 3, so he's a pitch away from issuing a 3rd straight walk to Joe Morgan. Ground ball, fair down the right field line. Heath Hernandez diving to try and stop it. The run is in. Morgan comes to second, head first with a double, and it's 3-0. Three runs in on 4 base hits. Morgan hitting a rocket down the first baseline, and I'll tell you, give Keith Hernandez a lot of credit because he went all out to try and come up with a ball as it shot by him. With Rose scoring, Joe is now at second, and here's George Foster. Check swing, a ball. They've got a left-hander now beginning to throw in the Cardinals bullpen, Buddy Schultz. Foster shoots one to deep right field, but it's a foul ball. Well, the answer to the scoreboard stumper, the manager of the Cardinals are the managers of the Cardinals when they won 3 pennants in the 60s. Johnny Keane in 1964. Red Schoendienst piloted the Cardinal clubs when they won it in 67 and 68. Shaka Morgan, the pitch to Foster. Swung on, slow ground ball to third. Reitz has it. Here's his throw to first base. That ends the inning. But a most profitable fifth for Cincinnati. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 1 left. After 5, the Reds lead the Cardinals 3-0. Well, we were talking the other night about the Cincinnati Reds tryout camps now underway throughout Reds country. Tomorrow, Gene Bennett, Reds scouting supervisor, will be at Indianapolis, Indiana at Busch Stadium for a tryout camp beginning at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Here's a pitch to Denny. Swung on, fly ball right field. Griffey drifting back. He's under, and he makes a catch. This coming Monday, the Reds will hold a tryout camp in Paintsville, Kentucky at Johnson Central High School beginning at 10 o'clock. Chet Montgomery will oversee that tryout camp. On Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, in Lexington, Kentucky at Shiloh Park at 10 o'clock. Chet Montgomery will be there. And on Wednesday, June the 21st, in Bedford, Indiana, Wilson Park, 10 o'clock, Reds tryout camp with Gene Bennett. And the same day at Somerset, Kentucky at Meese Middle School at 10 o'clock. And Chet Montgomery will be there conducting that one. Here's Gary Templeton, Lou Brock, ball 1. Seaver delivers, Brock swings and fouls. Now, the general information that those of you need to know who are planning to attend these tryout camps: the camps are for boys 16 to 22. High school sophomores and juniors are certainly urged to attend. 2 balls and a strike on Brock. Players are requested to furnish their personal gear, shoes, uniform, and glove. The Reds will provide the bats and balls. Brock, 2-1 pitch, taken high and inside, 3-1. And all American Legion players must have written approval from their Legion coach or post commander in compliance with the American Legion rule. Brock looks at a strike, and the count goes full. We will be continuing to update you on tryout camps coming up that the Reds will be conducting throughout Reds country in the coming couple of weeks. Brock with a high fly ball, back of third, foul ground. Foster in the Cardinal bullpen. He's got a play, and he makes the catch. 2 away, and the batter will be Gary Templeton. Don't forget, All-Star balloting is now underway and will run through the 2nd of July. Be sure to cast your All-Star vote this year. Ballots are available right here at Riverfront, at all Reds ticket agencies, and at most stores where Gillette products are sold. The latest release on the American League balloting from All-Star election headquarters has come in. Templeton takes a strike on the inside corner. We'll be ticking down the leaders by position in the American League All-Star voting. This is a fly ball off the left field line and out of play. We'll be doing that in the next half inning. Right now, we're 2 outs into the Cardinals' 6th inning, and the Reds lead in this game 3-0. 3 runs, 4 hits, an error for Cincinnati. No runs, no hits, and 2 errors for the Cardinals. Seaver back behind the mound, rubbing up the baseball as he now comes back on top. Templeton has bounced a short fly to deep left field. He's behind and awaiting the 2-strike pitch. And he pops it up back of the plate. Let's see if Werner has a play on it. Donnie's at the base of the screen, makes a catch. That's the inning. 3 up, 3 down after 5.5. The Reds 3, the Cardinals nothing. After this weekend, the Reds will be on the road for 2 weeks before returning home in late June, then get set for a lot of baseball here. 21 big games in a 30-day stretch. Check out the schedule and order your tickets in advance by mail. Box seats are $5, reserve seats $4. Send check or money order payable to Cincinnati Reds, Box 1970, Cincinnati, and please include 50 cents with each order for postage and handling. Danny Dreesen leading off the bottom of the 6th. The first pitch is high for a ball. Takes that slow John Denny curve that is in for a call strike. Danny has grounded out twice, hit into a double play in the 4th inning on a comebacker to the mound. Another curveball, but this one stays up and away. 2 balls and a strike. Reds sending 7 batters to the plate in the 5th inning and scored 3 times on 4 hits. Fastball up and in, ball 3, 3-1. Grayson hits a drive to deep right field. Way back in right, and it's out of here. Home run. Danny jumping on a high 3-1 fastball for his 9th home run of the season. And the Reds have tacked another run on their lead. It's 4-0. So Denny hitless baseball he threw the first 4 innings, and the Reds have now started to really zero in on him. Here's David. He takes a strike. He's also bounced out twice. Denny just starting to get that ball up just a little bit, and the Reds are making him pay for it. That's a high and inside fastball, 1-1. Check swing on a pitch inside. 2 balls and a strike. We're talking about that American League All-Star voting. Freddie Patek has moved into a tentative starting spot along with 7 first-week leaders. Ball 3, 3-1. They are Carlton Fisk, Rod Carew, Willie Randolph, George Brett, Jim Rice, Reggie Jackson, and Carl Yastrzemski. Closest races involve Patek, Bert Campaneris, and Rick Burleson at shortstop. Brett and Craig Nettles at third base. Here's a high chopper to shortstop. Templeton throwing on to Hernandez. Out. 1 down. And in the outfield with Freddie Lynn and Richie Zisk challenging the leaders, Carew is a top American League vote getter at the current time with 683,427. This is the latest release on the American League All-Star results. The National League balloting results will be announced 6:30 Monday night. And we'll have the results of the latest National League balloting Tuesday night from San Francisco. Geronimo looks at a strike. Cesar started us off in the 6th inning with a leadoff single. Taken high and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nothing Cincinnati. The Reds batting in the 6th. Dreesen is homered. Concepcion is bounced out, and Denny deals Geronimo a curve for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Red center fielder. Inside and high as he spins him around with that fastball. Pitch on the way. Geronimo swings, bounces towards second. Phillips on to Hernandez, 2 down. Just a reminder, Ken Griffey Poster Day comes up Sunday afternoon as the Reds and the Cardinals close out this current homestand. Everybody 21 and under gets a free full-color poster of the Red Star right fielder. Donnie Warner, like Geronimo in the last inning, a base hit and a run scored. Strike is called. So the leaders in the American League by position: Carlton Fisk of Boston behind the plate, Minnesota's Rod Carew at first base. High and inside, 1-1. At second, the Yankees' Willie Randolph. At third, George Brett of Kansas City. Shortstop, Kansas City's Fred Patek, swung on and foul back. And the top 3 vote getters in the outfield once again: Jim Rice of Boston, Reggie Jackson of New York, and Carl Yastrzemski of Boston. Freddie Lynn of the Red Sox is 4th, so Boston has 3 of the top 4 vote getters in the outfield. Warner takes a curve low, 2-2. Talking about Ken Griffey, we've got the Ken Griffey fan club from Donora, Pennsylvania, Kenny's hometown, here tonight. High and inside, and the count is full on Warner. Dreesen opened the inning with a home run to right. Warner fouls off the 3-2 pitch. Reds in front of the Cardinals 4-0 in the series opener at Riverfront Stadium. Tomorrow afternoon it'll be Bill Bonham against Pete Vukovich. Here's a shot pull foul to left field. Tom Seaver watching the action from the on-deck circle. Payoff again to Werner. He grounds to third. Good fielding. Kenny Reitz on to first. That's the inning. The Reds get one more run on one more hit. Dreesen's 9th of the year. And at the end of 6 full, the Reds over the Cardinals 4-0.
Seaver standing down behind the mound, waiting on Hendricks to step into the batter's box. Now Tom up onto the mound and onto the pitching rubber and gets the sign from Don Werner. He winds, and his first pitch, Hendricks swings on it and pops it up. Joe Morgan calling for it at second. Waiting, and he has it, 1 out. One away, and Ted Simmons, the batter. Ted 0 for 2, has grounded to short and a fly ball to Geronimo in center field. Werner out to the mound to have a short talk with Tom Seaver. Werner hangs the sign. Seaver delivers. Simmons swings, ground ball. Morgan has it on a bounce and on to Dreesen. 2 away. Two down, and that'll bring Keith Hernandez to the plate. And Keith walked in the second, was out on a fine play by Morgan in the 4th inning. Joe going off to his left to field the hard ground ball off the bat of Hernandez. The pitch. Hernandez takes it outside, a ball. Tom into the wind, kicks and delivers. Swung on and missed. Got him with a high breaking ball. Like a high slider up and in, and it's even at 1-1. Seaver has the sign. And the 1-1 delivery. Up high and off the mid of Don Werner. Count 2 balls, 1 strike to Keith Hernandez. Now the 2-1. Fastball swung on, hit off the glove of Seaver. Up with the ball, Concepcion got him. Oh, we get a break there as Tom reached for the ball. I don't know whether it hit him on the glove or on the leg, but right to Concepcion, and Davey threw him out easily. So Keith Hernandez really has been robbed of 2 base hits here tonight, but we'll take him. So the Cardinals in the 7th, nothing across. That play goes 1-6-3. And at the middle of the 7th, Reds 4, Cardinals nothing. For the Reds in the 7th, Tom Seaver to lead it off, then Pete Rose and Ken Griffey. Tom has been up twice in the game and has struck out both times. Struck out in the 3rd inning and then in the 5th, trying to bunt with 2 strikes. He fouled the ball for his 2nd strikeout. The Reds have had 5 hits of Denny, and 4 of those hits coming in the 5th inning when they scored 3 of their runs. In the 5th hit of the game for the Reds was Dan Dreesen's 9th home run of the year. Seaver at the plate, and he takes the first pitch high ball. One-0 delivery. Tom looks at a curve that's down low, and it's 2 balls, no strike. Outfield straight away. Then he delivers. Seaver takes ball 3. Buddy Schultz throwing in the Cardinal bullpen, and it really looks like John Denny is about had it. He is wringing wet and been up with a lot of pitches the last couple of innings. Seaver looks ball 4. That fastball just out of the strike zone high. So Tom moves on to first base. That's the 4th walk issued by John Denny, and Pete Rose the batter. Ray Knight loosening in the Cincinnati bullpen, and he will go to third base in the top of the 8th inning. Waiting on Seaver to put on his windbreaker. Tom just now arriving at first base. Pete with a big hit in the game. That 2-run double in the 5th inning. A ball to left center field was cut off by George Hendrick, but Geronimo and Warner running. Pitch to Rose, swung on. That's line to right field, a base hit. Seaver on to second base, holds right there. So Pete with 2 shots his last 2 times up. Hit number 6 for the Reds, and here comes Ken Boyer. And that might well be it for John Denny, as Griffey and Morgan are due up next. Ken going to the mound, looking down to the Cardinal bullpen where Buddy Schultz, the left-hander, is throwing. Mark Littell, a right-hander, heads to the Cardinal bullpen to start throwing as Buddy Schultz is called in from the bullpen. So we'll have a break in the action here at Riverfront Stadium. The Reds leading the Cardinals by a score of 4-0. We'll be back after this word. New pitcher on the mound for the Cardinals, left-hander Buddy Schultz. Buddy making his 20th appearance of the year. He has a .411 earned run average. He's 0-1 in a one-loss department. 35 innings. He's allowed 28 hits, has struck out 29, has walked 19. So John Denny leaves after working 6+ innings, allowing the Reds 6 hits, striking out 3, walking 4 runs, all of them earned. It'll be Ken Griffey when Schultz completes his warm-ups. Kenny 0 for 3 tonight. Bounced hard back to Denny in the 1st inning. Grounded to short in the 3rd. Was called out on strikes in the 5th.
Joe, we meant to point it up earlier tonight, the fact that the Atlanta Braves had signed their #1 draft choice, Arizona State third baseman Bob Horner, who set an NCAA record this season at Arizona State with 25 home runs. He started at third base for the Braves tonight. Bob Horner hit his first major league home run in the 6th inning with 1 man on base in his third at-bat in the major leagues.
Very interesting. The launching pad. All right, Schultz completes his warm-ups, and Kenny Griffey at the plate with Seaver at second base, Rose at first, nobody out. The pitch to Kenny, tries to bunt third base side, but fouls it off to the Cardinal dugout. Kenny hitting .324 right now, came into the game at .328. The Reds leading at 4-0, scoring 3 times in the 5th. 1 in the 6th on Dan Dreesen's 9th home run of the year. Schultz the stretch. And the pitch. Griffey tries to bunt again and fouls again off to the Cardinal dugout. 0-2 the count. Seaver at second, Rose at first. No balls, 2 strikes. The count to Ken Griffey. Joe Morgan on deck. Buddy Schultz checking with Simmons, and the stretch. The 0-2. High and inside, and Griffey has to get out of there in a hurry. The count 1-2. Outfield shaded a bit toward right for Ken. All right, the 1-2 delivery. Swung on, ground ball, and Phillips to Templeton to Hernandez, a double play. The second the Cardinals have turned in tonight. Moving on to third base is Tom Seaver. Play going 4-6-3. That tailor-made double play. No problems at all with that one. So Seaver now at third base with 2 away, and Joe Morgan the batter. Joe has reached all 3 times up tonight. He walked in the first, walked in the fourth, stole second, and doubled in a run in the 5th. Morgan swings and fouls Schultz' first pitch, 0-1. Schultz working from the stretch position. Sets the 0-1. Morgan takes it just low. Count evens a ball, a strike. One delivery, swung on, hit off the end of the bat to Templeton, charging it short, running through, got him. Close play, and Ron Plaza not happy with Paul Pryor's call, the first base umpire, but it'll stand. So the Reds in the inning, no runs, they get a hit. There were no errors, a runner left on base, and at the end of 7, Cards nothing, Reds 4.
Go to the top of the 8th inning as the St. Louis Cardinals get set to come to the plate, and they'll be sending up Jerry Morales, Kenny Reitz, and Mike Phillips. The Reds scoring 3 times in the 5th inning and once in the 6th. They've had a total of 6 base hits with an error. The Cardinals with no runs on no base hits, and they have committed 2 errors. Jerry Morales up in the 2nd, struck out swinging. In the 5th inning, he bounced out to 3rd. And talking about third base, Ray Knight has now gone in at that position, replacing Pete Rose. Right-handed batting, Cardinal right fielder. Morales steps in as Seaver looks into Donnie Warner. The right-hander winds and delivers. Morales takes it outside. Ball 1. Outfield shading the right-handed batter toward right field or the other way. The 1-0 pitch swung on and popped up off of first base, but that'll be out of play as it drops well back behind the Cincinnati dugout. Count evens to Morales, 1 ball, 1 strike. In the Cardinal on deck circle is third baseman Kenny Reitz. Seaver readies himself for the 1-1 pitch. Morales takes it outside and low, ball 2, 2-1. Give you the pitching line on John Denny in just a moment. Here's a pitch to Morales, swung on, high chop, third base side. Ray Knight up with the ball, quick throw to first, got him at first base. Close play and a good play by Ray Knight. Ray Knight coming off the bench, replacing Pete Rose at third and being tested right out of the chute as Morales hit a high chop. Knight charged, stopped quickly, played it on the bounce, and threw a strike to Dreesen to get Jerry by a half step at first base. 1 away in the 8th inning. Here's Kenny Reitz in. Seaver to the plate, and Reitz takes a high and away fastball. Kenny on in the 2nd with a walk. He flied to center in the 5th. Seaver starts to the wind, now stops, walks down toward the front slope of the mound, and now backpedals on top of the pitching rubber. The outfield for Reitz is straight away. Seaver's 1-0. Kenny grounds to third. Knight has it with no problem. Plenty of time. Out number 2. The batter will be second baseman Mike Phillips. Seaver has gotten the first 2 hitters out in the 8th inning, Morales and Reitz, on ground balls to third base. Mike Phillips has bounced to Morgan. He has grounded out to Dreesen. Danny saying something to Tom to get the pitcher's attention. Seaver now redirects his attentions back to the plate and the left-handed batting Phillips. Here's the pitch, and he checks his swing on a high fastball. On deck now for the Cardinals to bat for Buddy Schultz is Jerry Mumphrey. Seaver and the 1-0 to the plate. Phillips takes it high and tight. 2 balls and no strikes. We are in the 8th inning. The Reds lead the Cardinals 4-0. Seaver behind and pitching. The 2-0 to Phillips. That is low and away, ball 3. So Tom, who has not allowed a Cardinal base runner since the walk to Reitz in the second inning, has fallen behind to Phillips 3-0 with Mumphrey slated to pinch hit for Buddy Schultz on deck. Seaver kicks and fires, and Phillips takes a fastball for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike on the Cardinals' second baseman. Seaver quickly back to the plate. Phillips swings and fouls off left side and out of play. Strike 2. Full count. Ray Knight had started quickly across the foul line, but saw just as quickly that he had no play on the ball. Geronimo shading Phillips a bit toward right. Foster straight away and shallow in left field. Griffey straight away and right. Swung on and a fly ball hit to left field. A routine play for Foster. That's the third out of the 8th. The Cardinals are up and down in order. Before the Reds come to bat in the bottom of the 8th inning, we'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
WLW, Cincinnati. Ken Griffey Poster Day is Sunday afternoon at Riverfront Stadium. The Reds meet the Cardinals, and every fan through age 21 gets a free souvenir color poster of the popular Reds right fielder. Be on hand.
Buddy Schultz back to the mound as the Reds come calling in the bottom of the 8th inning, and it's going to be George Foster to lead it off. George has bounced to third, drawn a base on balls, and grounded out to third base again. The Reds leading 4-0 as attention has really started to mount here at Riverfront Stadium because Tom Seaver will be taking a no-hitter into the 9th inning. Foster slowly leveling the bat as Schultz checks in with his battery mate Ted Simmons. The left-hander to the plate. Foster with a foul to the screen. Strike 1. Cincinnati providing Tom Seaver with a run production, although being limited to only 6 hits tonight by Cardinal starter John Denny. Foster swings at a slow breaking ball, and he's behind at 2 strikes. Denny went 6+, allowing 4 runs, all of them earned on 6 hits. He struck out 3 and walked 5. A count of 2 strikes on Foster with Dreesen and Concepcion to follow. Now Schultz goes to the rosin bag. The left-hander kicks and fires. Foster swings and just ticks it foul to stay alive and keep the count at 0-2. In the Cardinal 9th inning, if Kenny Boyer stays with how he would have gone had Phillips gotten on with 2 out on the 8th, Jerry Mumphrey would be the pinch hitter for Schultz, then Lou Brock, and then Gary Templeton. Foster waiting the 2-strike pitch once again. And here it comes. Swing and a miss. Schultz struck him out with a good fastball down. 1 away. And Buddy picks up his first strikeout. Here's Danny Dreesen. He knocked in the 4th Cincinnati run with a leadoff 6th inning home run, his 9th of the year. Danny 1 for 3. Morales back deep in right field. As left-hander delivers to the left-handed batter, the fastball is just high. Ball 1. In the 6th inning in Atlanta, Pittsburgh leading the Braves 7-2. In the 3rd in Houston, well, we can update that. At the end of 4 in Houston, it's the Cubs 2 and the Astros 2. Dreesen with a check swing, foul ball off third base down around the Cardinal bullpen. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Davey Concepcion will follow Danny Dreesen to the plate. Reds leading 4-0 in the 8th inning. The pitch swung on and fouled out of play. Danny going after a high fastball and fouling it back into the upper deck. 1-2 on the Reds' first baseman. Schultz toes the line. Winds and delivers. Dreesen takes it low and inside. The fastball that Schultz wanted for strike 3 he did not get. And the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. One gone in the Cincinnati half of the 8th. There's a curve low and away. Ball 3. 3-2 the count. The crowd here at Riverfront right now very quiet and very expectant, and looking forward to what we hope will unfold in the Cardinal ninth inning. Dreesen swings at a curve, and that's a strikeout. As Schultz got a breaking ball in on him. And with 2 away, here's a shortstop, Davy Concepcion. Davy is grounded to second, bounced to the box, and bounced out to shortstop. 0 for 3. The big blow in this game back in that 3-run 5th inning was a 2-run double by Pete Rose after Geronimo and Werner had singles. Seaver had struck out. Strike call. Sparky Anderson had both runners on the move when Rose lined a double to left center field, scoring both Geronimo and Werner. Pete went to third when Ted Simmons was charged with an error. The ball getting through on the throw from the cutoff man Gary Templeton. Now Buddy Schultz walking in toward the Cardinal dugout, apparently on a very humid night, having problems with moisture on his glasses, and now being met at the third base foul line by the Cardinal bat boy to wipe him off. After that 2-run double by Rose, Griffey struck out, but Morgan doubled down the right field line, making it 3-0. Before Foster bounced out to end the inning, and then Dreesen led off the 6th inning with his 9th home run of the season to right field. That has been the extent of the run production. 2 down in the 8th for Cincinnati. Nobody aboard. The 0-1 to Concepcion taken high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Buddy Schultz in relief of John Denny, the starting pitcher, sends in the break-even pitch and took something off of it, but missed high. 2 balls and a strike. Cardinal outfield, Brock, Hendrick, Morales straight away. Davey takes low, and there's ball 3. 3-1. It was exactly 2 months ago tonight that Bob Forsch no-hit the Philadelphia Phillies for the Cardinal club 4-0. Here's a line drive into right field, base hit. Davey with an opposite field single, the 7th base hit for Cincinnati, and that'll bring up Cesar Geronimo. Geronimo on the evening, 1 for 2. A walk, a single, a run scored. He's grounded out to second. First base hit off Buddy Schultz. David will take his lead against a holding Hernandez as Geronimo checks his swing on a curveball in the dirt. Schultz constantly going to the rosin bag. Now the stretch, the check of the runner, and the 1-0 nope, the throw to first base, and Davey steps quickly back. 1-0 the count, and now the throw back to the mound gets away from Schultz, who runs over toward third base to pick it up. Davey, of course, having no intention of going anywhere at all. Schultz ready to go to work again against Geronimo. Concepcion goes, pitch is swung on, hit to center field. There's Hendrick, and he makes a catch to end the inning. So for the Reds in the 8th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the 9th inning as Tom Seaver starts slowly back toward the mound. He gets a standing ovation here at Riverfront. Stay with us. At the end of 8, the Reds 4, the Cardinals nothing. Well, we're in the top of the 9th inning. As we mentioned, Tom Seaver received a standing ovation as he left the Cincinnati dugout and slowly made his way out toward the mound. Seaver has pitched 8 no-hit innings against the St. Louis Cardinals, so he will be going to the 9th inning for the 4th time in his illustrious Major League career with a no-hitter. His closest brush with a no-hitter coming in 1975 against Chicago with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Joe Wallace, who just yesterday was traded off the Cubs ball club. Wallace got a base hit. It's going to be Jerry Mumphrey to lead it off. The same man who was on deck in the 8th inning when Seaver got Mike Phillips on a fly ball to left field. Ray Knight is playing in shallow at third. The left-handed batting Mumphrey waiting on Seaver. The pitch is taken high, ball 1. Seaver does not have to worry about the score. The Reds have scored 4 times for him tonight. His 1-0 to Jerry Mumphrey is up, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. 38,216 on hand tonight. And Seaver 3 outs away from his first no-hitter. The 2-0 pitch. That's high, ball 3. Mumphrey batting 174. He is 1 for 4 as a Cardinal pinch hitter. He takes a strike. On deck is Lou Brock. Seaver rocks to the wind. The 3-1 pitch is outside, ball 4. And Jerry Mumphrey becomes the first Cardinal base runner since Kenny Reitz drew a second-inning base on balls. 19 consecutive Cardinal batters had been retired between bases on balls. I don't think you could blame Tom Seaver for, at this point, being a wee bit nervous. That base on balls to Mumphrey will get Doug Baer starting to throw in the Cincinnati bullpen. Here is Lou Brock. He's bounced out twice and flied out foul to left field. He checks his swing, and that's a strike. Seaver with Mumphrey at first. Comes back to Brock, and he misses high, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Gary Templeton will be up next. Knight is even and a step or 2 inside the bag at third. Concepcion and Morgan at double play depth. Dreesen off the bag and behind the runner Mumphrey at first. The outfield shading Brock toward left. The 1-1. That's high. 2 balls and a strike. Seaver has walked pinch hitter Jerry Mumphrey. He is behind Lou Brock at 2-1. He pauses, he pitches. Swung on, looped down the left field line. That's going to be a foul ball and falls untouched in the Cardinal bullpen. Foster couldn't get it. Ray Knight and Davey Concepcion going back, they couldn't get it. So you level the count on Lou Brock at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mumphrey goes back to first base. Seaver, with 5 career one-hitters, has never thrown a no-hit baseball game. He is in the 9th inning right now with Mumphrey at first through a walk, nobody out, and a no-hitter working against the Cardinals. A 2-2 to Brock. He fouls it back on a late swing. Tom has certainly not been overpowering tonight, as we saw him exhibit in St. Louis 2 starts ago when 5 of the last 6 outs were strikeouts. He's fanned only 3 batters, the last being Hendrick leading off the 4th inning. He's ready now with a 2-2 to Brock. That is fouled out of play, and the veteran Cardinal left fielder himself hoping to reach the 3,000 hit mark in 1978, as Pete Rose has done earlier, hanging in against Seaver with a holding 2-2 count. Baer is throwing in the bullpen. Seaver back on the pitching rubber. Brock out away from the plate, making Tom wait a moment longer on the mound. And now the staccato clapping starts up at Riverfront among the 38,216. Brock levels the bat. Seaver with a slow come down to the belt, the pitch, and a bouncer foul toward the Cincinnati dugout and in. Tom now pacing around behind the mound as he rubs up the new baseball provided by plate umpire Terry Tata. Brock steps back in. Donnie Werner hangs a sign. The stretch, the kick, and the pitch. A fly ball hit back into left field. Foster is there. He's got it. 1 out. Seaver 2 outs away as Brock flies to left, and the batter will be Gary Templeton, the Cardinal shortstop. This young man always a threat because of his outstanding speed. He has grounded to short fly to deep left field and popped up in foul ground to Werner. Knight is shallow at third. The pitch to Templeton inside. And low, ball one. You've got speed at first base in Jerry Mumphrey and blistering speed at the plate in Gary Templeton. It would be very tough to double them up. Seavers 1-0 to the plate, and that swung on and missed. A fastball up and away, and Templeton could not get it. 1-1. Knight now about even with a bag at third, but creeping in slowly as Seaver comes back to Templeton. Bouncing ball, shortstop. Concepcion. Morgan will hold the throw at second base as they get the force out on Mumphrey. 2 away in the Cardinal ninth inning, and Seaver is 1 out away. The batter is George Hendrick as they start to their feet here at Riverfront Stadium. Seaver 1 out away from the first no-hitter of his major league career, and what would be the 14th in the long history of the Cincinnati Reds. George Hendrick, big, strong, right-handed batter, has gone hitless in 3 times. He has struck out once. Seaver pitches. Hendrick takes a strike. Now the crowd begins to roar with every pitch. Mumphrey has been forced at second. Templeton, the runner at first, 2 out. The strike one pitch coming to Hendrick. He swings and pops it foul, but it's going to be out of play as Donnie Werner runs to the near end of the Cincinnati dugout, and it falls back in the stands. Strike 2. There has never been a no-hit game pitched by a Cincinnati Reds pitcher here at Riverfront. The last Reds no-hitter thrown was back on the 30th of April, 1969 by Jim Maloney. At Crosley Field, he no-hit the Houston Astros 10-0. Seaver is a strike away. He stretches. He checks the runner. He pitches. He pitches high a fastball, and it's 1-2. They are standing all over the ballpark. Hendrick waiting on Seaver's 1-2 pitch. Tom sets, he kicks and fires. He pops it up, and it's going to be out of play, directly back of the plate. So Tom Seaver now a strike away from his first major league no-hitter. The Reds leading at 4-0 in the 9th inning. Hendrick puts a head of the bat on the plate. Werner hangs a sign. Seaver with a pause, the check and the pitch. He bounces to first base. Dreesen has it. He goes to the bag, and Seaver's got it. Tom Seaver has pitched his first major league no-hitter, and this one belongs to the Reds. Seaver is being mobbed at first base as George Hendrick bounces a routine 2-hopper to Danny Dreesen, and the 38,216 at Riverfront Stadium are standing. Tom Seaver has thrown the first no-hitter of his major league career, the 14th no-hitter in the long history of the Cincinnati Reds, and he did it in almost routine fashion tonight. He throws his hat high over his head, acknowledging the applause and the recognition of this crowd at Riverfront Stadium. Tom Seaver has thrown the second no-hit, no-run game. In the National League in 1978, Bob Force did it 2 months ago to the very day when he no-hit the Philadelphia Phillies 4-0, and Tom Seaver has no-hitted the St. Louis Cardinals here tonight against the crowd here, a tremendous crowd, and Seaver winning it 4-0, his first major league no-hitter, and what a ball game. Well, we're just about set to go at Riverfront Stadium. The Reds are on the field. We await now the appearance of Tom Browning, and we can tell you that down in Houston tonight, the Astros lead the San Francisco Giants 1-0 at the end of 5. The 1-run coming on a 4th-inning home run by Buddy Bell. And that gives a father and son combination of Gus and Buddy a total of 407. That ties them with Yogi and Dale Berra for the all-time father and son home run lead. Now, that is good news.
Marty, I know that was one of Buddy's goals. If you'll remember, we talked to him in Houston, and certainly it was something that he wanted very much. And boy, it's nice to hear he's been able to do it. his 7th home run of the year, I believe, and I'm sure Gus is a very happy individual sitting at home right now. If he's listening, congratulations.
Well, we'd like to think that between now and 2 weeks from Sunday, he could get one more. And whether or not Buddy Bell plays beyond 1988 or not, at least that would be a new record then that another father and son team could shoot for sometime down the road.
Now, let's see. What would maybe Griff and Griff Jr.?
Yeah.
Kenny Griffey Jr.
Well, I'll tell you what. With the way that kid has performed in his couple of years in minor league baseball, given his age to begin with,
might happen.
Absolutely it could. Certainly could. It's amazing. Young Kenny was out here a couple of days working out with a ball club, taking a little early BP, and you put him up alongside Ken Griffey Sr., and all of a sudden you realize how big this kid has become over the years.
Truth, it's almost amazing. When I think back when they were just little tykes, to see the stature of young Kenny now, he's a pretty good-sized young man.
Also makes you feel old, too, pal.
Well, you didn't have to bring that up.
But it do.
It do.
We're set to go. Leading it off for the Dodgers will be shortstop Alfredo Griffin. He's batting .202 with a home run and 24 runs batted in. Right-handed batter. Been a rough first year in the Dodger uniform for this guy. Browning into the windup and the pitch, and is taken high and tight for a ball, and this game is underway.
2 hours, 27-minute delay.
So after a 2-hour and 27-minute delay because of rain, we've started here, and Browning gets a pitch over for a call strike, and it's even at 1-1 on Griffin. First baseman Mickey Hatcher on deck, to be followed by left fielder Kirk Gibson. Browning 15-5, making his 33rd start with a 3.56 ERA. Pitching, and Griffin swings and fouls it back. Well, you'd like to think now that they've started that they'll be able to get this game in. As we mentioned earlier, the Braves and the Padres were rained out in Atlanta earlier tonight, so they're looking at a doubleheader tomorrow. 1-2 on leadoff batter Griffin. The outfield playing him straight away. Jeff Reed hanging a sign. Browning kicks and he throws, and Griffin swings and he fouls, and it holds at a ball and 2 strikes. Speaking of doubleheaders, the Dodgers, they still have one remaining against the San Diego Padres due to an early season rainout in Los Angeles. They've got 6 games still to play against the San Diego ball club. Griffin now turns and says something to the plate umpire Jim Quick. What this conversation could be about, I have no idea, but it now comes to an end, and Griffin gets back in. And Browning comes right back to him. And it's swung on and hit into left center field. Eric Davis goes over, under, and he makes the catch, 1 down. And we'll pause for station identification on the Reds Radio Network.
Some northern Kentuckians trapped in Mexico by Hurricane Gilbert will probably be home sometime this weekend, and people in Loveland being told to boil their water before using it tonight. Michael Leland, news after the game on News Radio 700 WLW, Cincinnati.
One away. Here's first baseman Mickey Hatcher, a 300-plus batter at 306, and he looks at a strike from Browning. Defensively, it's Nicky Saskey first, Ron Oster second, Barry Larkin short, Chris Sabo third, the 1-strike pitch. And Hatcher grounds one wide of third, but there's Sabo throwing, and there are 2 men out. In left field, Cal Daniels, Eric Davis in center, Paul O'Neill in right. We mentioned the catcher, Jeff Reed. And the 2-out batter, Kirk Gibson, has been on something of an offensive roll of late. When the Reds were at Dodger Stadium last weekend, his average was under 300. As he begins play tonight, it is over 300 by 1 point. 301 with 25 homers and 72 runs batted in. He's had 9 of his 25 home runs this season off of left-handers, including 1 last Sunday at Dodger Stadium against a man he settles in to face here, Tom Browning. Gibson, who takes an awful lot of time, is there, and Browning deals, and the pitch is taken strike. Does a little landscape work in the batter's box. Totally obliterates what is left of that back white chalk line. Back line of the batter's box, and the 0-1 to him. And that misses outside. A ball, a strike. Joining plate umpire Quick at first base, Mark Hirschbeck. At second, John Kibler. At third, Eric Gregg. 2 down here in the top of the first inning as Griffin is fly to center. Hatcher's grounded out to third. And Browning even up against Gibson, 1-1 and pitching. And it is in the air to left field. Daniels to his right waiting, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. We're going to take a break for, you guessed it, an ice-cold Pepsi. After a half inning, it's the Dodgers nothing, and the Reds are coming up. Fan Appreciation Day, Sunday, October 2nd. The Reds and the Atlanta Braves at 2:15, and this year's grand prize is a 1988 Chevrolet Cavalier from Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America. Other prizes include a one-week motor home rental from Camperland RV Center, a gift certificate from Osterman's Jewelers, and much more. It's a great afternoon, so get your tickets now for Fan Appreciation Day, Sunday, October 2nd. The Reds and the Atlanta Braves at 2:15. Postcard entries accepted. Dodgers go out in order against Tom Browning. The Reds begin their night's work against right-hander Tim Belcher. Very personable young man and an Ohio native, we're proud to say, with a record of 10 wins and 4 losses, making his 24th start and his 33rd appearance, has a complete game along with a .337 earned run average. It will be the usual trio of batters here in the first: Larkin, Sabo, Daniels, and maybe more. Larkin batting .285 with 11 homers, hit his first since July the 1st last night, when he homered off of Houston right-hander Bob Forsch in the 3rd inning. Barry's knocked in 51 runs, and he can count Tim Belcher's name as being in his 1988 home run book. He got Belcher earlier this year here at Riverfront Stadium. Tim with a pitch and Larkin with a take, and the fastball is just up, ball 1. The Dodgers are 24 games over 500. That equals the most they've been over the 500 mark all year long. And they go into play firmly entrenched in first in the West by some 7 over Houston. The 1-0 pitch, and Larkin takes a strike. Now, the Reds are a game and a half behind the Astros, and in third, they're a game and a half in front of 4th place San Francisco, and 3.5 games in front of 5th place San Diego. 1-1 pitch, down low, ball 2. Here's how the Dodgers look on defense. Hatcher at first, Sachs at second. At third base, Hamilton; at shortstop, Griffin. And in the outfield, they go Gibson, Shelby, and Marshall, left, center, and right. And Rick Dempsey doing the catching. 2 balls and a strike. Barry Larkin, the leadoff batter in the first. He takes, and that's ball 3. Last Sunday afternoon, Belcher worked 5 1/3 innings, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs. He struck out 7 and walked 2 in a no-decision outing. Larkin fouls it back and out of play, and it's a full count. That was the story last Sunday on Belcher. The recent story on Larkin is that he is enjoying a 5-game hitting streak in which he's batted .400. You know, Barry's going to end up having a very good year, and the prospects of him getting even better in the future is awfully good. Bounced up the middle, cut off by Griffin, throwing, and got him at first base by a stride. 1 out. That'll bring up Chris Sabo. We remind you, when you're cruising those highways, remember your friends at Marathon, because your car knows Marathon is best in the long run. Sabo in at .275, 44 RBIs, along with 11 home runs. He, like Larkin, coming off of a 2-hit night in the 7-5 win last evening over Houston. Swinging a foul ball, strike 1. Mentioned the Houston 1-0 lead over the Giants at the end of 5 on Buddy Bell's 7th home run. That's the ball low. In the bottom of the 7th in Philadelphia, the Pirates and the Phillies are tied up at 5 apiece. In the 8th in New York, it's the Mets and the Expos tied at 3. And the afternoon final had the Cardinals shutting out the Cubbies 3-0. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. No score in the first. Sabo a pop-up out behind second base, and it will be Steve Sachs ranging back to make the catch for the second out. So Tim Belcher trying to duplicate the feat of one Tom Browning, and he'll square off against Cal Daniels. Over in the American League, American League East leader Boston scored 5 times in the 5th inning, and now in the 8th they lead the New York Yankees 7-2. And the 3rd place Detroit Tigers, they came back from an early 5-1 deficit, and they are now tied in the 8th inning at home against Baltimore 6-6. Here's Daniels batting .285, and the pitch is in there for a call strike. Cleveland and Toronto 3-3 in the 8th. Chicago a run up on Minnesota 4-3 at the end of 5.5 innings. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's over for strike 2 call. Now second on the club in homers, 17. Second on the club in runs batted in, 61. Actually tied in RBIs for second on the team with Paul O'Neill. He's in a 2-strike hole here, and Belcher misses low and inside a ball. Dodgers have won 9 of the 15 games, and it has been a consistent factor in this, the 4th year in a row in which the Reds have not been able to handle the club that was in first place later, went on to win the divisional championship. Swing and a foul into the mid of Dempsey. He hangs on. Daniels is a strikeout victim, and the Reds go 1-2-3. At the end of 1 complete at Riverfront, Cincinnati and Los Angeles 0-0. Mike Marshall, sans a lot of hair, will lead off the top half of the second. Marshall is almost a skinhead. Why anybody would do that unless they just lose their hair naturally, I can never understand. He swings and fouls the first pitch straight back. He's had some physical problems of late, a thigh muscle pull that had him on the sidelines for 9 ball games. Then he tried to pinch it against the Atlanta Braves when the Dodgers were last there, couldn't cut it. Started 1 game last weekend against the Reds and didn't appear in the next 2, but healthy enough to be back in there now. Swung on, popped up behind the plate, coming back is Reed, hoping to have a play, and he's disappointed. Back in the seats, and it's 0-2 on Mike Marshall, batting .283 with 18 homers and a club-leading 77 runs batted in. And a typical year for Mike against Reds pitching. I don't think there's ever a season in which he does not hit well against Cincinnati, whether it be here or out on the coast. This year with 2 home runs and 9 RBIs to go with a .327 average. Big, strong, right-handed batting Mike Marshall. Browning in with a pitch. And he misses with it down and in. 1-2 on him. Shelby due to bat next. And then we'll take a look at third baseman Jeff Hamilton. That's low, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Some die-hard baseball fans in the yard tonight, I'll tell you. They hung tough through 2 hours and 27 minutes of non-baseball activity. We finally started, and we're in the top of the second. Marshall reaching, chops one to third. There's Sabo. There's the throw. Got him. 1 down. Nice play by Sabo. Get rid of it right now to knock Marshall off. And the switch-hitting Shelby will step in. Shelby batting .261, slumping of late, however. 7 home runs and 57 runs batted in on the year. Hitless, as a matter of fact, in his last 3 games, and only 2 for his last 15 over the last 5. Batting right-handed, and he fouls it back and out of play. Browning has retired the first 4 to face him and quickly jumps out in front of strike on Shelby. Check swing, and that cost him another one. Strike 2. Browning figures to get at least 3 more starts, and it would be an awful shame if he wins out the rest of the way and ends up with 19 victories on the season in light of, again, we make reference to last Sunday's debacle at Dodger Stadium. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shelby takes, and see you later. Strike 3 call. Browning has his first. That brings up third baseman Jeff Hamilton. Hamilton, the hero of last Sunday's Dodger victory. The 2-out, 2-run home run that gave him the 5-3 victory. 5 of the year, he's hit 28 RBIs along with a .255 batting average. He has hit .333 over the last 17 games as he swings and fouls to raise his average to the season's high 255. So 5 up and 5 down. Browning trying to make Hamilton number 6. Tom, as usual, working quickly. Hamilton waves at a fastball away, and it's 0-2. 7:05 start tomorrow night, 2:15 on Sunday. Then we'll have the Pods in Monday and Tuesday, and the Giants in Wednesday and Thursday. It'll close out the homestand. We head out then for 3 in Atlanta and 3 in San Francisco, and then come back home 2 weeks from tonight to close out the 88 season in a 3-game series against Atlanta. Hamilton fouls it straight back, and the count holds at 0-2. No score, top of the second. Browning sights a sign and pours it plateward, and Hamilton takes the ball high. Rick Dempsey would bat next. Fly ball right field along the line. Over is O'Neill, still on the move, and he makes the catch in foul territory. And that wraps up the Dodgers second. 3 men up, 3 men down, and after 1.5, it's no score at Riverfront. Well, neither team has yet to get a man on base. Browning starting very impressively, pitching 2 perfect innings. Belcher did it to the Reds in order in the first. And here's Eric Davis. 90 runs batted in, 25 home runs, and a .277 batting average. As you probably know, the National League leader in game-winning runs batted in. He's had 21 of them, and his most recent coming here last night. Closest to him in the National League, Kevin McReynolds of the Mets, who now has had 17 game-winning RBIs. The pitch from Belcher, and it's a fastball up. In the American League, actually, Davis is leading the major leagues. Mark McGwire and Mike Greenwell have 20 to pace American League hitters. 2 balls and no strikes. He's had a rather impressive second half of the season. Actually, you can go back further than that to June 1. Foul ball off the 2-0 pitch. And he's hit Dodger pitching well. .317 average, 2 homers, 10 runs knocked in. Belcher checks with Dempsey. And his pitch. Taken high, ball 3.
Marty, the Giants have taken a 3-1 lead over the Astros in the 6th inning. They have scored 3 times, and there's 2 outs.
Foul ball back and a full count. Well, the Reds certainly didn't do the Astros any favor, bumping them off 2 out of 3 here. Now the Reds have to pull for the Giants while the Reds are playing the Dodgers. Another foul ball. This rockets back into the upper deck, and all 3 of the cuts that Davis has had off of Belcher have been very healthy cuts. So the count holding at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Belcher trying one more time, and Davis swings and fouls another one. So he's providing some happy fans with souvenirs. One in the upper deck, and a couple of stingers straight back and into the green seats dead behind the plate. Paul O'Neill coming up next as Davis tries to become a base runner at the outset of the second. The pitch. Ball 4, and he's walked. Eric has 34 stolen bases, but his running game has not been a part of his repertoire of late at all. Because of the shin splint problem, he has not been running. He has led off the second with a base on balls, and here's O'Neill. Left-handed batter as Davis bounces off the bag over at first against a holding Mickey Hatcher. The pitch to Paul, swung on, fouled away. Strike 1. Talk about a guy who's had a pretty good seasonal series against a particular ball club. 5 homers, 13 RBIs against the Dodgers alone. While batting .358. Last time L.A. was in town in a 3-game series against them, he was 9 for 12. Way high. 1 ball, 1 strike. No score here in the second, and a game that start was delayed by 2 hours and 27 minutes because of rain. And the Giants right now lead the Astros in Houston 3-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Belcher pauses and pitches. O'Neill swings, hits one into left center field. Shelby on the run. He makes the catch. Fine catch by John Shelby on a ball hit in the gap to take an extra base hit away from Paul O'Neill, and Davis back at first base. I'll tell you, one of the very underrated center fielders in the National League. He can go get the baseball. He gets a good jump, which he had to get then in order to flag that ball down in left center. O'Neill goes back to the dugout shaking his head, and Nicky Saskey is the batter with 1 out, and Davis still at first. There's a throw over to first. What made that catch even more impressive is the fact the ball was bending away from Shelby as he went over, and he simply outran it. Now, Saskey with a .243 average, 13 homers, and all of a sudden Belcher decides to pay some attention to Davis. He makes 2 straight throws over to Mickey Hatcher. Nick with 2 hits and a run knocked in last night. The pitch to him, and it's upstairs, ball 1. Now Dempsey running out to the mound to hand the ball back to Belcher and momentarily meet with him. Texas Gold is happy to bring you the Reds fireworks at Riverfront and proud to bring you the finest ice cream available. Texas Gold Premium Ice Cream. Available, of course, at all Kroger stores. Dempsey back behind the plate. 1 out, 1 on in the second. He's Saskey at the plate, and he takes it up high. Ball 2, 2-0. Belcher ready, pitching, and a swing and a miss on a fastball. It goes to 2-1. Standing in the on-deck circle, catcher Jeff Reed. Here in the inning, Davis has walked, and O'Neill has been robbed clean by center fielder John Shelby. Belcher turning, throwing to Hatcher. Davis back and gets a safe call from the umpire over there, Mark Hirschbeck. Infield a double play depth. The outfield playing Esaski just a tad to pull, but really not all that much. Swing and a miss. Boy, he went after a high fastball, and Belcher had something on that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tomorrow night, it'll be Ronnie Robinson getting his second start since coming off the DL against another very impressive Dodger right-hander in Tim Leary. The 2-2. Andy Saskey swings and fouls to Dempsey's mitt, and Tim Belcher picks up his second strikeout. We had hoped some days ago that Sunday afternoon would bring about a matchup of the top 2 contenders for the Cy Young Award, Danny Jackson and Oral Hershiser, but as it turns out, not one but neither will pitch on Sunday. Rather, it will be Jose Rijo against lefty John Tudor. Jackson will go in the first game Monday night against San Diego here. Reed with a bat handle foul ball. Strike 1. Of course, Frank Viola last night saw his ball club come back and go on to a rout as he picked up his 22nd win. So he's the first 22-game winner in the major leagues, and right now there are 3 pitchers who have 20 or more, and 2 of them are in this ballpark tonight in opposite dugouts. Jackson for the Reds and Hershiser for the Dodgers. Reed batting .229, down a strike. Belcher throws to Hatcher, gets it back, and redirects his attention back toward the plate. And on he comes, and Reed takes the ball. 1-1. Nobody as yet has had a base hit. Davis getting on by virtue of a leadoff walk. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In the ninth, Baltimore now leading Detroit 7-6. In the ninth, Boston 7, Yankees 4. So, folks, it looks like the Red Sox are not going to be denied. What a year and what a story it has been for that franchise. All the turmoil, the firing of a manager, John McNamara, the coming of Joe Morgan, who was an organization man, and the turnaround. Foul ball back. A team that can flat out hit and have 2 pretty good starting pitchers in Bruce Hurst and Roger Clemens. We touched on the subject the other night. If things stay as they are now in the 4 divisions, it will make for very interesting League Championship Series matchups. The Dodgers and the Mets in the National League, the A's and the Red Sox in the American. Reed grounds it hard. Backhanded by Sachs. He'll go to first with a throw, and that ends the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. We've completed 2. Reds nothing, Dodgers likewise. Initially, the 3rd inning confrontation, Tom Browning against Rick Dempsey, and with a play-by-play, here's Joe.
Thank you, Marty. And Browning has retired the first 6 he has faced. Dempsey, a .263 batting average, 7 home runs, 27 RBIs. He takes high and outside from Browning a ball. Arm of the strikeout. He got Shelby on a called 3rd strike in the 2nd. The 1-0. Dempsey swings and fouls back to the screen, and it evens 1-1. We talked about acquisitions the Dodgers made, and boy, this guy has been invaluable to say the least. Rick Dempsey. Browning with the 1-1. Dempsey takes it just under the knees. 2 balls to strike. Browning looking for his first decision against the Dodgers this year. This is his 5th start. Here's the 2-1. Dempsey grounds it fair behind the bag. Backhanded by Sabo. Long throw gets him easy. A 1 away, and the batter is Steve Sachs. And Sachs moved way down in the Dodger batting order, and I guess for a good reason. It's called a slump. Steve hitting .273, has hit 5 home runs and has driven in 52. Waiting on Sachs to settle in. Steve's batting average has dropped 7 points, 6 points since the Reds were in Los Angeles the first day of that 3-game series. Takes high from Browning a ball. Browning back, Sachs swings, pops it up, shallow right. Coming on is O'Neill waiting, and Paul has it. 2 away. Well, 2 down, Tim Belcher, the batter. And Belcher hit his first Major League home run in Los Angeles. And guess who it was off of? Tom Browning. It came in the 3rd inning. That game, the Reds lost 5-3, and the 3 runs in the 9th for the Dodgers. Belcher looks at a strike. Alfredo Griffin on deck with 2 out. Browning the 0-1, swing and a miss. 0-2 to Belcher. A 2-hour and 27-minute delay in the start of the game tonight. Browning the 0-2. That misses low. A ball, 2 strikes. Reed hangs the sign. Browning with the 1-2 delivery, and Belcher swings and he grounds it wide to first. There's Nick fielding, flipping it to Browning, and that's the inning. 9 straight for Tom, and at the middle of the 3rd, Dodgers nothing, Reds nothing. We have 2 games left with San Diego here Monday and Tuesday. Belcher works on Oster, and Ron looks at it, low ball 1. And 5 left for the Giants, and 6 left with Los Angeles, or with Atlanta rather. Here's the 1-0, and Oster takes it. Strike called on the inside corner to knees. 1-1. Belcher, a fairly quick worker. He delivers the 1-1, and swings in a foul tip out of the mid of Dempsey. A ball, 2 strikes. The last 21 games, Oster hitting .318. Ball 2 strikes. Belcher waiting on the sign from Dempsey. Okays. And the 1-2 delivery. And Oster swings and fouls back and over the screen. Again, the 1-2 pitch. Oster swings, fly ball down the left field line, and that's slicing foul. That'll drop back into the seats. Kurt Gibson there, but well back into the seats. Tomorrow night it'll be Ron Robinson and Tim Leary, and then Sunday afternoon, Jose Rio and John Tudor to close out the season with the Dodgers. Belcher working and Oster taking, low and inside. The count evens 2-2. Down in Houston, the Giants lead the Astros 5-4 in the 6th. Hammaker had to leave the game. Starting pitcher for the Giants. Oster grounds one wide to third, but there's Hamilton to field and on to Hatcher, 1 out. Now 1 down, Tom Browning steps in. Tom, a 139 batting average with 3 RBIs and 2 doubles. In New York, the 8th inning, Montreal and New York tied 3-3. In the 9th inning in Philadelphia, the Pirates and the Phillies tied at 6-6. And of course, San Diego, Atlanta postponed because of rain. Browning tries to bunt and fouls it away, and that ball hitting something and bouncing into the stands just to the left of the screen. 0-1. Belcher with the 0-1. Browning swings and he pops it into right. Coming on is Marshall, and he has it. And Marshall looked like he's limping. Well, 2 away, and Barry Larkin to the plate for the second time. Larkin, in leading off the game, grounded to Griffin at short. Barry hitting .285. Talking to Barry about that hand, and apparently he's going to have a nerve specialist look at it at the end of the season. He's had it x-rayed and nothing showed up. The way Barry explained it, it's a nerve that ties in with the ulnar nerve, and sometimes he'll get a pain all the way up to his elbow. First pitch to Lark is a called strike. Well, Belcher, the 0-1 to Larkin, and Barry takes it. That one bounces 3 feet in front of the plate and onto the backstop. Count evens 1-1. A ball, a strike to Larkin with 2 out here in the 3rd. Belcher's 1-1 delivery. Larkin takes ball 2, low and away. Sabo waits on deck with 2 away. Here's the 2-1, and Larkin takes it, ball 3. Well, 3-1 now to Barry Larkin with 2 out. Outfield plays Barry's about straight away. 3-1 delivery. Swung on. That's fouled back and just under our booth. A full count. Larkin back into the batter's box, and the payoff to Lark on the way. He swings and lines it to left, but there's Kurt Gibson backpedaling. He makes the one-handed catch, and that's the inning. Well, Larkin hits it hard, but right at Gibson, and after 3, it stays the Dodgers nothing, the Reds nothing. Hatcher at the plate, and Gibson moves on deck. Browning delivers. Hatcher swings and misses a high fastball. Browning back with the 0-1. That's strike 2 call on the inside corner, and Hatcher a quick look at Jim Quick, the plate umpire. 0-2. Reed hangs the sign and the 0-2. That's way inside. A ball, 2 strikes to Hatcher. Hatcher a .306 batting average. Tom with the 1-2, and Hatcher swings and a fly ball to left. Cal Daniels drifting back now, waiting on it, and that's out number 2. 2 down. Kurt Gibson to the plate. Kurt a fly ball to Daniels to end the first inning. Mike Marshall moves on deck with 2 away, waiting on Gibson to settle into the batter's box. Browning winds and delivers, and Gibson takes outside. Kurt backs away from the plate on every pitch and then back in, and the 1-0. Swing and a miss, and he tried to check his swing and couldn't. A 1-1. Browning with the 1-1. Gibson takes strike 2 called, and Tom quickly in front of ball, 2 strikes to Gibson. And again, Gibson out of the batter's box. Hurt back in. Browning has the sign from Reed. He delivers the 1-2, and a swing and a miss, and Browning has his second strikeout. 12 straight now for Browning, and the middle of the 4th. Dodgers nothing, Reds nothing. Well, Belcher goes to work on Sabo, and his first pitch is taken a called strike. Belcher back with the 0-1. Sabo swings and bounces it foul behind the plate, and I'll be darned, that's the second one that has bounced into the seats just to the left of the screen. That one hit the railing behind, at the screen, and jumps over into the seats. The 0-2, and Sabo takes it just low. Final in New York, the Mets scoring in the 9th to beat the Expos 4-3. 7th inning, the Giants leading Astros 5-4. And Sabo a fly ball into center field, drifting back, and now waiting Shelby, and he has it for out number 1. A 1 down. Cal Daniels the batter. Cal struck out to end the first inning. Philadelphia batting in the 9th, tied with the Pirates 6-6. Now the final there, Pittsburgh won it 7-5. Misreading. Strike to Daniels. Cal hitting .285. Belcher delivers, and Daniels swings and grounds one to Griffin, who fields, throws on to Hatcher, 2 away. Well, 2 down. Eric Davis steps in. Eric walked leading off the second. Well, we've yet to have a base hit in the game either side. Eric now 3rd in the league in RBIs. He swings and fouls the first pitch. Will Clark with 99 for the Giants, and it's Glenn Davis of Houston with 94, and Eric with 90. Pitch on the outside corner, called strike 2. 0-2 to Davis. Belcher with the 0-2, and Davis takes it up high. Time call now as Dempsey would go out and have a word with Tim Belcher, as he didn't like the way he delivered that particular pitch. Looked like a slider that hung up stairs out of the strike zone. Belcher ready with the 1-2. And Davis takes it again high. Count evens 2-2. Belcher has the sign, the 2-2. Davis swings and fouls it back and into the red seats. Belcher shakes off the sign and delivers. Swung on and again fouled back into the red seats. Belcher trying to get in on Eric with a fastball, but Eric able to make contact. And again the 2-2. Swung on, that's line foul into the seats down the left field line, just above the visitors' bullpen. Davis takes strike 3 call on the outside corner, and Belcher has his third. Well, the Reds out in order, and after 4, it's the Dodgers nothing, the Reds nothing. Totals are exactly the same, all zeros. As we move into the 5th, Mike Marshall leads it off. Back with the action, here's Marty.
Thanks, Joe. Marshall 0 for 1, a ground out to third. Browning delivers, ground ball wide of third there. Sabo, like a vacuum, throwing and out. The throw was a little bit high to the outfield side of the bag. Whether or not Nick's foot came off is irrelevant. If it did, he got back down before Marshall got there, because Mark Hirschbeck dead on top of the play and gave the out call. So 1 pitch, 1 down, and that brings up John Shelby, who was called out on strikes in the 2nd. Tom pitching and Shelby swinging a foul back. Scoreboard stumper, 4 different players have stolen 65 or more bases in a season while wearing a Cincinnati Reds uniform. How many can you name? 4 of them with 65 or more in a season. 1 ball and 1 strike on Shelby. You got him? Now you're talking, Jack. Here's the 1-1. Pitch is high, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Jot him down for me here, big guy, and I'll see if I agree with that. Here's a 2-1 delivery. Swung on, and a ball is fouled back and out of play. Holding the count is at 2-2 with 1 out here in the 5th inning and no score. Reed hanging a sign. Browning serves it up, and a strikeout swinging. That's all for Shelby. Third strikeout for Browning. He goes to work on Mickey Hatcher, or rather Jeff Hamilton, who fouled out to Paul O'Neill and right. Only 1 base runner so far tonight, and that was the Eric Davis leadoff walk in the 2nd inning. The pitch, and a foul ball back, strike 1. Tom Browning, at least through 4 2/3 innings, is having one of those nights. Throwing the ball where he wants to. He's in front of strike on Hamilton, and he's in front 2 strikes as that pitch gets over on the outside. It is over in Boston. It is over in Detroit. The Red Sox have won. The Tigers have lost again. Baltimore scores a game winner in the top of the 9th to beat the Tigers in Detroit 7-6. That pitch is outside, while Boston scored 5 times in the 5th inning and went on to beat the New York Yankees 7-4. 1-2 from Browning to Hamilton, and it is popped up outside of first and will drop into the stands just down beyond the Reds dugout. That means that the Red Sox now lead New York by 4.5. They lead Detroit by 6. And if Milwaukee wins out in Seattle tonight, and right now they are in the third with a 4-0 lead, they will move to third in the AL East, and the Tigers will drop to fourth. The pitch on the way, and it's fouled right off the end of the bat. That San Francisco-Houston game, in case you're interested, is now in the 8th inning. It's still 5-4 Giants. All of their runs coming in the 6th inning when they knocked out Bob Nepper. Hamilton checking, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Milwaukee 4, Seattle nothing in the third in the Kingdome. In the third in Anaheim, it's the Angels 4 and the Texas Rangers nothing. Kansas City, Oakland scoreless after 1. 2-2 pitch. Foul ball. Hamilton hanging in and staying alive as Browning tries to retire him and make it 15 in a row. 2 pitchers, 1 left-handed, 1 right-handed, and dead on top of their respective games. If you happen to be rolling down the radio dial and find us on the air and only in the 5th inning, it's because we had a 2-hour and 27-minute rain delay. Hard 1-bouncer hit to Larkin, winging it on to first, and that's the inning. For the 5th straight time, they go down in order, the Dodgers do, and after 4.5, Reds nothing, Dodgers nothing. Tim Belcher goes to work on Paul O'Neill. Inning number 5 for the Reds and a foul ball back. Paul hit a ball that, when it left the infield, looked to be ticketed for the wall in left center, but John Shelby turned in to fine defensive play so far tonight when he took it down, and that was a big play because Davis was on at the time. Pitch inside a ball, 1-1. Paul batting .248, 13 home runs, and 61 runs batted in. Belcher has struck out 3, has walked 1, and he's won 1 inning. And a shot hit to right center field. Marshall got it as he stepped onto the warning track. Well, Paul O'Neill really hitting into tough luck tonight. He has just absolutely hit 2 balls dead on the button and has nothing to show for it. 1 away in the Reds' 5th, and Nicky Saskey settling in for the second time. He was a strikeout victim in the second. Ball outside. Well, everything completed with the exception of the Houston-San Francisco game. Here's a high foul ball heading down toward the Reds bullpen. In pursuit, Nicky Hatcher, and he makes a catch. So Saskey gone, and Jeff Reed will bat. They're now in the 9th inning of that one. It's still 5-4 Giants. Reed in the second when he bounced out to the second baseman, Steve Sachs. Of course, in playing the Dodgers, the Reds are facing the team with the best road record in the National League. 42 wins and only 27 losses. And, of course, the way the Dodgers have been playing of late at home, they have just vastly improved on their Dodger Stadium record, which stands at 42-33. Reed takes a fastball in for a strike. For the longest kind of time, they had a tough time winning at Dodger Stadium, and what kept them afloat and in first place in the league was their ability to win on the road. Here's a line drive foul into the seats. Right side, it's 0-2. And boy, they have done it of late on the strength of outstanding pitching, because offensively, they have not hit hardly anything. Here's the 0-2. And Reed waves at 1 for strike 3, and that's number 4 for Tim Belcher. And at the end of 5 complete, Cincinnati nothing, Los Angeles the same. Bottom third of the batting order for the Dodgers in round number 6. Dempsey to start it. He bounced to third in the third and rips 1 foul to left field on Browning's first pitch. The 4 Reds to steal over 65 bases in a season. Bob Bescher, 70 in 1910, 81 in 1911, and 67 in 1912. Joe Morgan had 67 in 1973. And the same number in 1975. Browning pitching, Dempsey taking a ball. Then it was Dave Collins in 1980 was 79, and more recently 2 years ago, Eric Davis had 80 of them. They're the 4 Reds to steal over 65 in a season in the history of this franchise. 2 balls and a strike. Browning winds, kicks, and he throws. Dempsey swings. Fly ball, left field. There's Daniels, and that's 1 out. Now Steve Sachs. Dropped all the way down to the number 8 spot in the order after hitting first and slumping when the Reds went into L.A. Dropped him down to number 2 and now hitting in the number 8 position. Right now, nothing seems to work for Steve. Only 2 for his last 22 at-bats, encompassing the last 6 games, counting his 0 for 1 tonight, and 10 hits in his last 20 ball games. He takes a strike. His batting average has slipped some 31 points since the 17th of August. He was batting .304 at that time. He's now down to .273. He hits a fly ball into right. Routine for Paul O'Neill. Pounds the glove and puts it away. 2 out. If you're planning on vacationing in Disney World, call Delta Airlines, the official airline of Disney World. Delta loves to fly, and it shows. 2 down here in the 6th. No score. Neither team has had a hit. The Dodgers had yet to get a base runner, and the batter is pitcher Tim Belcher. Belcher grounded out his first time in there against Browning, and there's a strike to him. Grounded foul over toward the Dodger dugout and into it, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Browning, of course, earlier this year out in San Diego flirted with a no-hitter. In fact, he took a no-no into the 9th before giving up a base hit to Tony Gwynn. And has pitched 5 2/3 innings of not only no-hit ball, but perfect ball tonight. Here's a liner foul out of play to the right, and it holds as pitcher faces pitcher. 0-2. Browning a long look. The windup. The 2-strike pitch, and he misses high with that one for a ball. Back comes the Reds left-hander, swing and a miss. Fastball, and had something on that one to end the inning. So that's 4 for Browning. After 5.5, 0-0, the Reds in Los Angeles. 2 pitchers basically matching each other almost pitch for pitch. Neither team has had a base hit. Belcher throws to Oster, and Ron hits one foul down the left field line and out of play. Strike 1. Ron batting .261. Double last night, scored a run, takes another strike. And Belcher doing exactly what Browning's doing, basically getting out ahead of the hitters with a first pitch strike. And we've talked about that in the past, the percentage of outs when you get that first pitch in for a strike. Grounded to shortstop, waiting on it, Griffin. Scoops and throws. He got him 1 out. Health maintenance plan from Community Mutual Blue Cross and Blue Shield, as always, because just any HMO won't do. Browning will settle in after flying to right in the 3rd inning. The hardest balls hit so far this evening for Cincinnati have both been off the bat of Paul O'Neill. And the hardest hit ball for the Dodgers in all likelihood was the ball that Dempsey hit that Sabo ranged behind the third base bag to field and throw him out easily back in the 3rd. Everything else has been routine. Browning foul ball back, strike 1. Belcher throws another strike. Belcher's given up 8 home runs this season in now 155 innings of pitching. There's a bouncer back to the box, backhanded by Tim. He does a 360 and throws on to Hatcher for the 2nd out. And Browning, on the other hand, has served up 33 long ones. And in a game such as this, Oftentimes, one big mistake pitch will determine the outcome. These two fellas, even though we're in the 6th inning, show no signs of any lessening of stuff on the part of either one of them. Larkin hit it hard back in the 3rd when he lined out to Gibson in left field. He's 0 for 2. Belcher throwing. Larkin shortens up his zip to bunt and takes the strike as Hamilton came charging in from 3rd, and Belcher broke off the mound. That's high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Larkin steps back in, waving that bat around as Belcher comes with a 1-1 to pitch in the dirt, and bouncing off the shin guard of Rick Dempsey, kicking over toward the on-deck circle. So Barry jumps out in front, 2 balls and a strike. The 1 walk that Belcher has allowed, representing the only base runner for either team, Davis, was only after Eric had repeatedly fouled off pitch after pitch to keep the count at 3-2, and he finally lost him. So it wasn't a case of Tim having a momentary lapse of control. Barry now backs away from the plate. Two and one the count on the Red shortstop with 2 outs. And a line drive to right field, and there's the first hit of the night. It goes into the right field corner. Larkin turns first. He digs towards second and will stop right there with a 2-base hit. So as far as hits are concerned, the stalemate has been broken. An opposite field double to right by Barry Larkin. And let's see what Chris Sabo can do with 2 down here about getting him in. Sabo has been retired routinely on a pop to Sachs and a fly ball to Shelby. That double for Larkin extends his hitting streak to 6 games. Dempsey goes out for a quick pep talk and now returns to the plate. And now, forgetting something, heads back out. The ability to come up with key 2-out hits. That oft-repeated phrase relative to this great game of baseball, and that's what the Reds are hoping for right here as Larkin edges off the bag at second. And Sabo pops it up off third, but out of play behind the L.A. dugout. That battle to win the doubles title in the National League may well go right down to the wire. Sabo and Galarraga with 40 apiece. Then you've got Palmeiro right behind at 39, but he's going to be out a week after suffering a left hand injury when he misplayed a fly ball at Shea Stadium a couple of days ago and had it hitting between his middle finger and his index finger on his left hand. Another foul ball back that required 7 stitches. And Palmeiro sitting and watching for a few more days. Oh, with Larkin at second and 2 away, Tim Belcher going to work as Sabo fouls back 2 straight pitches. Here's a stretch, the pause, and the pitch, and it's chopped to third. Here's Hamilton fielding. He quick throws to first, in the dirt, gets away. Here comes Larkin. He scores. Reds lead 1-0. Hamilton appeared to have a problem picking that ball out of the lights, and then made a quick and hurried throw that was short of Nicky Hatcher, who tried in vain to dig it out. And when it got away, Larkin kept right on coming, and the Reds lead by a run. That'll be scored an infield hit and a throwing error. So credit Sabo with a single. No run batted in. Larkin scores on the throw, but the Reds lead it by a run, and the inning continues for Cal Daniels. Daniels struck out in the first inning and grounded to short his last time up. He takes it strike. So the throw by Hamilton and the inability of Hatcher to control it allows Larkin to come in to score a big first run of the night. There's a throw over, and naturally Tim Belcher concerned about the possibility of Chris Sabo taking off. 46 steals to lead the Reds team. Daniels down a strike as Belcher straightens up on the mound. Chris leaning and now goes back to first base, and they pick him off. And he's upset with Mark Hirschbeck's call, and the rookie gets right in his face and arguing vehemently down beyond the first base bag. Lee May quickly out of the coach's box to restrain Sabo as Belcher picks him off. But the Reds get 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and at the end of 6 complete, it's the Reds 1, the Dodgers nothing. Top of the Dodger batting order in the 7th with the Reds in front 1-0. And back with a play-by-play, here's Joe.
And Alfredo Griffin takes a strike from Tom Browning. Griffin 0 for 2. Browning delivers the 0-1. Griffin swings. He grounds to Oster. Ron Fields on to Isaski. 1 away. 1 down, and Mickey Hatcher to the plate. Hatcher 0 for 2 is grounded to third. A fly ball to left, and his 2 times to the plate. 1-0 the Reds. They 1 run, an unearned run, but a run. Coming after 2 out. Fastball misses high to Hatcher a ball. Larkin double and then scored on the throwing arrow by Jeff Hamilton on Sabo's chopper. To third, Hamilton had trouble picking the ball out of the lights. Had to wait on it. The 1-0. Hatcher fouls. Count evens 1-1. Gibson waiting on deck. Browning with the 1-1. Hatcher swings and he hits a little fister that Nick catches at first base. He got jammed on that pitch. 2 away, and the batter is Kurt Gibson. Gibson 0 for 2, a fly ball to left, and a strikeout in his 2 times to the plate. Gibson, a .301 batting average. Mike Marshall moves on deck. Again, waiting on Gibson to settle into the batter's box. He's there, and Browning ready with the first pitch. Winds and delivers, and Gibson takes inside. A ball, fastball, 1-0. Again, Gibson out of the batter's box. And now settles back in.
16,591. 1-6.
Browning delivers. Gibson swings and bounces it foul into the Reds' dugout. Count evens 1-1. In attendance tonight, 16,591. Well, the crowd certainly would have been much bigger had it not been for the 2-hour and 27-minute rain delay. A ball, a strike to Kurt Gibson. Browning delivers. Gibson takes up high. 2-1 to count. Gibson back into the batter's box. 2 balls to strike the count. And the pitch. Gibson looks at strike 2, and it evens 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the crowd getting pumped up now. 2-2, 2 out. Gibson into the batter's box, and Browning with the 2-2, and Gibson takes strike 3 call on the outside corner, and Gibson not happy with the call by plate umpire Jim Quick. That's 5 strikeouts for Tom Browning and 21 straight, and now they have thrown Kurt Gibson out of the ball game. Oh, Gibson getting his final words in to Jim Quick. Tom Lasorda's out, and now Belcher trying to hold Gibson away, and the other umpiring crew, John Kibler's up there, and Kibler finally gets Gibson to take off, and Kibler apparently said it was a strike from where I was standing at second base. But nevertheless, Gibson is gone, and the inning is over. 21 straight for Browning. Middle of the seventh. It's the Reds 1, the Dodgers nothing. New left fielder for the Dodgers, Jose Gonzalez, takes over. Tommy Lasorda still talking with plate umpire Jim Quick. And, of course, Quick ejecting Kurt Gibson when Kurt got really bent out of shape on the called third strike to end the inning. For the Reds in the seventh, it'll be Daniels, Davis, and O'Neill to face Tim Belcher. They lead it 1-0. Gonzalez in left, taking over for Kurt Gibson. Belcher goes to work on Daniels. First pitch is swung on and fouled straight back. Reds getting a run in the sixth. The two-out double by Larkin, and he scores on a throwing arrow by Jeff Hamilton on a chopper by Sabo, and Chris picked off at first to end the inning. The 0-1. Daniels takes high. Count evens, a ball, a strike. Eric Davis on deck, the 1-1. Daniels swings and fouls again. Back and over the screen, and the count goes 1-2 to Cal. Belcher shakes off a sign from Dempsey, and now the 1-2. Daniels swings and again fouls back over the screen. Well, it stays in a ball, 2 strikes to Cal Daniels. Belcher back with a 1-2, and he misses outside. That evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Daniels, a .285 batting average with 17 home runs, 61 RBIs. Belcher winds and delivers. Daniels swings and fouls. Well, on this date in 1919, the Reds clinched the National League pennant with a 4-3 win over the New York Giants at then Redland Field. And one more time, the 2-2, and that swung on and bounced to Sachs at second. He throws on to Hatcher, 1 away. A 1 down, Eric Davis steps in. Eric walked and has struck out in his 2 times up. And 2 hits in the game, and that was Larkin's double and Sabo's single in the 6th inning that produced the run. Belcher winds and delivers. Davis swings and fouls. Tomorrow night, game 2, Ron Robinson, Tim Leary to hook up. Eric takes strike 2 at the knees on the outside corner, and Belcher in front 0-2 to Eric Davis. Here's the 0-2, and Davis looks at a breaking ball low and away. Belcher delivers. Davis swings, and he grounds in the hole. Backhanded by Griffin. The throw to first, and he got him. Fine play by Alfredo Griffin. All in one motion, fielding and throwing the long bounce to Hatcher to retire Davis. Excellent play by Alfredo Griffin. Now 2 away, and Paul O'Neill the batter. And Paul has hit the ball hard both times up. John Shelby went far into left center to haul down his line drive in the 2nd, and then Marshall backpedaling to pick off his line drive leading off the 5th. Belcher delivers to O'Neill, and Paul takes low, ball 1. 1-0 Reds, 7th inning. 1-0. O'Neill swings and misses a breaking ball in. Now it evens 1-1. And the 1-1 taken down low. 2-1 the count to O'Neill. Belcher with the 2-1. O'Neill takes strike 2 call. Not an off-speed pitch. And that evens the count. Belcher delivers the 2-2. O'Neill takes strike 3 call on the outside corner, and Paul not happy with the call by Jim Quick. Belcher has his 5th strikeout, and after 7, it's the Reds 1, Dodgers nothing.
Browning enters the 8th inning, having retired 21 batters in a row, and working with that 1-run lead, the run coming in the 6th inning. Tom kicks and throws, and Marshall swings and misses at a pitch down, and the count goes to 0-2. It is Marshall, Shelby, and Hamilton here in the 8th inning. Mike settles back in. Browning anxious to work as he continues to go quickly. And that pitch down for a ball. And now they want an appeal play from the first base umpire, and Mark Hirschbeck throws both hands out. And Marshall stays alive as the count goes to a ball, 2 strikes. 1 run, 2 hits for Cincinnati. No runs, no hits, and 1 error for Los Angeles. Here's a pitch. And Marshall swings and drives one into right center. O'Neill got it. One away in the 8th inning. And now it'll be John Shelby, who both times up tonight has struck out, looking in the 2nd and swinging in the 5th. Browning behind the mound. Quick visit to the rosin bag. Scrapes the dirt off the pitching rubber and looks in for the sign from Jeff Reed. Here's a pitch. And it's fouled back, upstairs and out of play. Strike 1. If you joined us late, 2-hour and 27-minute rain delay. A brilliant night of pitching for Tim Belcher, and a more brilliant night of pitching up to this point for one Tom Browning. He delivers, and it's inside to even the count at 1-1. The Reds scored in the 6th on a 2-out opposite field double by Larkin, an infield hit by Sabo, the ball thrown away by Hamilton. Here's a foul ball upstairs again. And when the ball was short of first baseman Mickey Hatcher, it bounced off of his glove, kicked into foul ground, and Larkin came in to score. That has been the extent of it. And all eyes obviously right now on Tom Browning. He has retired Marshall, the 1-2 to Shelby. And it's high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Alejandro Pena, a right-hander, has gone down to the Dodger bullpen to start throwing. Browning with a 2-2. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Credit Tom Browning with his 6th strikeout of the night. 2 away in the 8th inning, and the batter will be third baseman Jeff Hamilton. He is fouled out to right. He is grounded out to shortstop. The young man who last Sunday enjoyed maybe the biggest thrill of his big league career when he hit the 9th inning 2-run homer off Franco to give the Dodgers a win in L.A. He swings and fouls. Tonight, it was his ball short of first baseman Hatcher that enabled Larkin to score what has been the game's only run. Tom getting a new baseball from plate umpire Jim Quick. He didn't like the one that he first threw out to him. Standing out behind the mound, rubbing up the baseball. Again, bends low to reach the rosin bag and steps back on. 2 down, bases empty, 8th inning. Hamilton taps the plate with the head of the bat. Waiting on the 0-1 pitch, and here it comes. And it's swung on and missed. And it's 2 strikes and nothing on the Dodger third baseman. Outfield playing Hamilton just a bit to pull. Reed sends out the sign. Browning with a wind, the kick, and the pitch, and it's low. And it's 1-2 the count. Browning never leaving the pitching rubber. Hamilton steps out, walks back into the box, and here comes a pitch. And it swung on and fouled away. Tom got up and in on him, and Jeff was able to get the bat around quickly enough to make contact. Tom takes a quick look at his defense. Redirects his attention back toward the plate. And on he comes. And it's a bouncing ball to Larkin. He gloves, he throws, the inning is over. And 24 in a row have been retired by Tom Browning. It's the middle of the 8th, and the Reds lead 1-0. Right now, it's Nicky Saski waiting on Belcher here in the home 8th, and the pitch is swung on and hit in the air to right field. Shallow and going out to play it. Steve Sachs, 1 pitch, 1 out. Now Reed, who's grounded to second and has struck out. Belcher has been just a tad less, and I mean a tad less effective than Browning. Reed now making Belcher work, and Tim not quite as quick a worker as Browning is, but he still is better than the average. He comes to the left-handed batting Reds catcher, and the pitch is taken high for a ball. JTM's delicious shredded beef and pork barbecue now available in a new reusable tub, and coming soon, JTM's complete line of kettle-cooked products, beef taco filling, delicious Firehouse chili, and of course, Sloppy Joe. 2 balls and no strikes. The wind up in the pitch, and it's low ball 3. One out. Reed a pitch away from becoming the 4th base runner of the night for Cincinnati. Ron Oster would be the next batter to hit. And Belcher cranking toward the plate, and the fastball is in there for a call strike. Foul ball back and a full count, 3-2. Belcher worked 5 innings of no-hit baseball, actually 5 2/3 to be precise, before the double to right by Larkin, who then scored on the infield hit and the resulting throwing error by Hamilton. Swing and a miss. Reed out on strikes, and he might have swung at ball 4. It was a pitch up and a bit away from him, and that is 6 strikeouts for Belcher. And now it's Oster, who's grounded to third and grounded to shortstop, 0 for 2. Two hours and 27 minutes the folks in this ballpark had to wait. And so far, the wait has been quite worthwhile. Oster taking ball 1. Reds have not had a base runner since Sabo got the infield hit. Retired 5 in a row. Belcher has. He works. Oster taking high. 2 balls and no strikes. Browning on deck. Belcher looking to Dempsey. And the right-hander wheels and deals. And it's foul ball back, and it's 2-1. The Giants have beaten Houston 5-4. So a Reds victory would pull them to within a half a game of second. And right now they lead 1-0 in the 8th inning. Here's a pitch. And it's hit hard to center, and it will drop in front of Shelby for a base hit. So Oster with a 2-out single. And that means that Browning will bat and get ready for a pretty sizable ovation. They are standing all over the ballpark, and with very good reason. As far as his work at the plate is concerned, he's fly to right and grounded back to Belcher. So Oster on at first. The Reds now with 3 hits. Belcher pitches to Browning, and Tom lets it pass. It's a ball. And a strike is taken. 1 ball, 1 strike. Browning batting 135. Oster takes the lead against a holding Hatcher over at first base. The right-hander with a pause in the pitch and a swing and a miss. Browning up there hacking. He takes his hitting as seriously as Danny Jackson does, and I think for that reason they are the two pitchers who are more apt to get a base hit than anybody else on this pitching staff. Tom strikes out swinging this time, and that's the inning. No runs, one hit, one left. Stay with us. Tom Browning takes a perfect game into the ninth inning, and the Reds lead 1-0. Well, here we go. Top half of the ninth inning. Bottom third are the batting order for the Los Angeles Dodgers, namely Rick Dempsey, Steve Sachs, and a hitter for pitcher Tim Belcher. The Dodger bullpen is busy. The spotlight is on the mound where Tom Browning enters the ninth, having retired 24 batters in a row. Dempsey has grounded to Sabo. He has flied to Daniels. He is waiting on Browning, and Tom lets it fly, and the pitch is fouled up and out of play. Strike one. Browning has struck out 6. This is the second time this season that he has flirted with a no-hitter. He lost one out at San Diego on a ninth-inning single by Tony Gwynn. He is low with the next pitch to Dempsey, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And this crowd is going to boo every ball call, no matter if Browning throws one up into the radio booth. And here comes his 1-1 to Dempsey. And it's hit in the air to right field. O'Neill moving toward the line. He's under, and he makes the catch. 1 out. Dempsey is gone. The 25th Dodger out. And now it is second baseman Steve Sachs, who has flied to O'Neill twice tonight and may well be the toughest of the trio of batters that Tom Browning will face here in the ninth inning. Sachs, a contact hitter. He'll put the bat on the ball more often than not. And as determined and competitive a player as Browning, the pitch is swung on, ground ball up the middle. Larkin's got it. His throw to first. 2 out. And the Dodgers are down to 1. A night very reminiscent of the one that we had here back on May the 2nd when Ron Robinson pitched 8 2/3 innings of perfect baseball. He lost the no-hitter, he lost the shutout, but he got the win. And now it will be Tracy Woodson to pinch hit for Tim Belcher, and Browning is 1 out away. In the history of this franchise, there have been 15 no-hitters pitched. 12 in 9 innings, 3 of 10 or more. There has never been a perfect game thrown by a Reds pitcher. And Woodson fouls it off, strike one. It is 1-0 in the ninth inning. The Reds have the lead. Browning has retired 26 in a row. He is a strikeout in front of the right-handed batting Tracy Woodson. He looks to Jeff Reed. He winds and he throws, and it's inside, and it's a ball and a strike. It was 10 years and 3 months ago to the day that Tom Seaver last pitched the Reds' last no-hitter. Browning is outside, ball 2. That was on the 16th of June in 1978 when he no-hitted the Cardinals here 4-0. Browning's 2-1 offering to Woodson, and it's grounded foul to the Dodger dugout. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. There is no one standing that we can see, or sitting rather, that we can see in this ballpark. They are all up and on their feet and rooting individually and collectively for Browning to get one final out. He is ready for the 2-2 to Woodson, and here it comes. And it is swung out and missed. And Tom Browning has pitched a perfect game. 27 outs in a row, and he is being mobbed by his teammates just to the third base side of the mound. A perfect game thrown by Tom Browning on this Friday night, September the 16th, 1988, as he no-hits the Los Angeles Dodgers 1-0 and throws the first perfect game in the long and legendary history of this great Cincinnati Reds baseball franchise. And now Browning being hoisted to the shoulders of his teammates. And boy, what a memorable scene on a wet, dreary evening here in Cincinnati. A night that the fans had to wait 2 hours and 27 minutes for. And brother, was the wait worthwhile. And this one belongs to the Reds. A perfect game for Tom Browning. And the Reds have defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers by a final score of 1-0. The fireworks, courtesy of the dairy folks from Kroger and Texas Gold Premium Ice Cream.